Welcome to Monday. Welcome to your Monday. Mike Check Monday here. We already got DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat. Says, Mike, you asked for memorable lines, you got them. It's true. It is true. And you know what? I'm gonna sit here right here on this microphone and I'm gonna apologize to Kendrick Lamar. I didn't think Kendrick had what it took to do what it takes to win a battle in this day and time, and that meaning multiple records. I knew that Drake was going to come with multiple records. We haven't heard a whole bunch of Kendrick Lamar records at one time in a very long time. So there was no way I would think that we would get 4 Kendrick Lamar records in a matter of like 3 or 4 days. But man, he did this. And in my estimation, and we're going to get deeper into this on the show, this is over. And I can give you guys a bunch of reasons why I think this is over. But let me get to the super chats real quick. Shout out to everybody in the room. Thumbs up in the chat. I just talked to Mickey Factz, man. He coming in a second. We're going to really break down some of these lyrics, too. Brian G with the super chat says, it's probably a minor. There go the memorable bars. Yeah. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, saw Paul Rosenberg, comment that the Drake drops may be done only because he has brand deals and the severity of the accusations from Doc. We'll get into that too. DJ Bruce Almighty says Gilly's on dope. Vocabulary. I love the way you spell your name. That's really dope. He said, are these two this generation's Nas and Jay? Will they be linked like them as well? I think so. I think this battle, and I think we need to talk about that moving forward too. Some people are saying this is one of the greatest, if not the greatest, hip-hop battle that we've had. And I think because of the different rounds. I don't think that we've had rounds in such close proximity ever before, at least not in the podcast/streaming era. So it's definitely a memorable thing. And I got to give it to both parties, man. Like, I think that this is over because of how Kendrick handled this. But, man, Drake did not slouch on the bars, man. I got to say that. I will say that. We'll get into that. Jay Short with the super chat. Shout out to Jay Short. West up. He says, 10-4 Kofi. I think the industry had their boy Drake orchestrate this whole beat with the intent of introducing artificial intelligence into the hip-hop spectrum. Now, his job is done. He's out. That is super 10-4 Kofi right now, but you know what? I can appreciate 10-4 Kofi talk. Thumbs up in the chat, everybody. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, have we ever had a diss record hit #1? I don't know, but you know what? I think we did with Back to Back, I believe, or was that just a Grammy win? Either way, this had to happen in this matchup. These guys are two high-profile individuals in this era of hip-hop, in this era of music, period. So it had to be one of those things that one of the records was going to hit #1. Now, a lot of us thought that being the individual he is and being the artist he is, Drake was going to be the one doing numbers. That's one of the reasons why I say that Kendrick's definitely ahead, if not have already won this, because the numbers are supposed to go to Drake already. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that Kendrick not only barred him up, which we knew Kendrick was going to out-rap him. I think I said before all of this happened, I was like, what Kendrick needs to do is out-rap him. But not only did Kendrick out-rap him, he out-hit the hitmaker, because They Not Like Us is a certified banger. And of all the records, it is the banger. Now, I think Family Matters was put in play to be that club banger, but They Not Like Us is a banger. Shout out to Mustard on the beat. What is this? Dacon Cass with the super chat says, no longer a question of can Kendrick battle. No, it's not. And the way that he positioned himself in this whole thing, it's pretty epic. And we're going to go step by step, man, as the show goes on. But these are just raw reactions. I want to take this like record for record, starting with, honestly, Euphoria and how those things transpired. Mad Max with the super chat. Hopefully Mad Max is not hating early on. He said he didn't come with 4 records. He just broke the 19-minute tracks in parts. That's why he never addressed what Drake said on his record. He lost. Now, I don't think that there's any way you can really position it to say that Kendrick lost, because this is my theory. And it feels like when we got Family Matters, and then we got then we got Meet the Grams directly after. I do feel like Kendrick definitely got a heads up on Family Matters, because when you hear Meet the Grams, it sounds like a direct response to Family Matters, and Family Matters came out like 30 minutes before it, right? He was ready for that. And so when we talk about the banger in this, when I'm talking about like that record that was going to be the anthem this summer or just running the clubs or whatever, I feel like Drake felt like that's what Family Matters was supposed to be. And so when he put out Family Matters and then boom, you get Meet the Grams directly after it, it drowns that out. And then less than 24 hours after that, boom, They Not Like Us. And it's like, okay, I took your club banger, I took it off the table. 36 Chambers with the super chat says, Mad Max is incorrect. Kenny name dropped Family Matters and the slave comment, and They Not Like Us. It's true. I mean, it is what it is. I agree with that. Mrs. Smith, excuse me. Dot won because, in my opinion, he had better songs. He was more strategic, and Drake didn't even address Dot alone until like the fourth song. He underestimated Dot. Again, we keep going back to the Jay-Z Nas thing, right? One of the big mistakes that Jay made on Takeover, in my personal opinion, was the fact that he addressed everybody. He gave Nas one verse, but again, Takeover is a heavy lift. If he was going to do that, he needed to be prepared for a very vicious response. I don't think he thought he was going to get that ether type of response, just like Drake underestimated Kendrick. And I don't think that Drake thought he was going to get multiple songs from Kendrick. And I didn't think we were going to get multiple songs from Kendrick. I sat here on this microphone and said the same thing, just based on, Kendrick's output over the past 5-6 years. Who could really think that you were going to get 4 Kendrick records directed at one MC in less than a week, right? So I think that in Drake's mindset, he was like, boom, let me go ahead and egg him on to get Euphoria out of him. And once I get Euphoria, then boom, I'm going to hit him with Family Matters and he's done. Or he's going to at least hibernate for another, couple of weeks, and I'm going to have some time to do some things. I don't think he thought 30 minutes later Meet the Grams was coming. And I'm skipping over 616. I can't skip over that either. So when 616 happened, I think that Drake felt very confident, like, oh, okay, boom, now it's Family Matters time. And 616 is important because when he dropped that, I think that Drake might have thought that he was a little bit out of gas, right? Or it was going to take him some time to actually respond to a lengthy record like Family Matters, because to be real, Family Matters is pretty hard. We're going to talk about that too. But I think that what really turned the tides in this is when Meet the Grams hit Family Matters in the mouth so quick that he was able to drop They Not Like Us. Like, it was a setup. It was very, very strategic. I got to give Kendrick credit. Incredible strategic moves, and he had the energy to win this one. And I think that he has another one in him to close this off. Free with the super chat says, Cap, Drake made the best song / diss of the whole battle. Ghost wrote the third verse of Meet the Grams, got Kendrick to diss himself in the cover art. Now, we'll get to that. I will get to that when we get more people in the room. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, the Hard Part 6 now has more dislikes than likes. Now, I do think that there's a little bit of hating going on too, although the Hard Part 6, it's all over the place. The Hard Part 6 sounds like, and I'm going to go back to the Jay-Z and Nas thing. We're probably going to go back to this a lot during this episode. The Hard Part 6 sounds like when Jay-Z was on Hot 97 after, Ether dropped. And, it sounds like he lost. Like, The Hard Part 6 is still somewhat strong, and it's a good song. I'm not saying that he lacked off on any of that, but that talking at the end, it sounds very final. I still think that he's not going to stop because Drake's just not going to stop. But you could feel that he's feeling that he's losing. You know what I mean? Brian G with the super chat says, "We need a public apology for the slavery bar. How does slavery enter a rap battle if you consider yourself a black male?" Well, see, that line from Drake, and you're talking about you rapping like you're trying to free the slaves. That was on Family Matters. That line proved Kendrick's point. He proved how disconnected that Drake is with, Black American society. I mean, he is a mulatto Canadian, and that's it. And you could tell that, I don't want to say you could tell, it's highly documented. Drake said it himself. He didn't really grow up around a lot of Black people and have that Black experience. He kind of connected with the Black experience through hip hop and his hip hop peers, even in real time as we watched it. So lines like that really intensify some of the things that Kendrick said. I think Kendrick's strongest position in all of this was the colonizer position. And that's what makes They Not Like Us outside of the mustard beat and, the catchy hook and some of the one-liners on there. That's what, to me, makes that record so strong because he's doubling down on the colonizer concept. Oh, that's Mickey right there. Let me see. He said 635. That's cool. We're going to get you in, Mickey. We got you. Cool. So, yeah, I think that him doubling down on the colonizer part of it is probably his strongest. Now, we'll get to the whole pedophile thing because that's a slippery slope. That's legalities. That I saw a post that Wyclef had about the truth in battle raps and does everything have to be factual? I think that's a topic for today too. I think I'm going to save that topic for when Mickey gets on because he is experienced in the battlefield. So we'll speak to that. Blue Collar Hustle with the super chat says Drake is predictable, which is why he lost. His strategy has always been, when in doubt, use a woman as the trump card. Dot was able to Uno reverse that, and now Drake has nothing. Dot played this masterfully. He really did. 36 Chambers to the super chat says, "This is like Metro. Just like Metro will forever hear Shut Up and Make Some Drums. Drake will forever hear OVO Ho, 69 God, and A minor forever." That's impact. That's real. And that's what we look for in a classic diss record. I think that, let's just say this whole thing ended today. This whole thing ended today. The record that's going to come out of this back and forth that we're going to put in the top 10 of diss records all time is They Not Like Us. It's going to be that one. I wasn't sure how people were going to take They Not Like Us, though, because I spoke on it when we were on a live, or when Rhyme was doing the weekend Rhyme this weekend on Saturday, I believe. And the song actually debuted while they were on a live. And I jumped out of the live, listened to the song, jumped back in. And I didn't know how people were going to take it. I was like, I think it's a banger, but, I don't know, like, with the vocals and how he's actually delivering it, how people are going to take it. At that time, I put it as the fourth in his arsenal of the 4 records that he put out. I got it up to number 2 now. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, "For Drake to name his song Family Matters and Dot already had Meet the Grams ready for a response, this is proof that there's absolutely someone at OVO that's working for Dot." For sure. He had that record. You know what I'm saying? And he tried to warn him about the leak in 616. I guess he thought he was talking shit. And basically, the way that this is going to pan out throughout history, this is going to look even more masterful with Kendrick, because it's like, he warned you of the leak in 616. And as soon as you dropped Family Matters, 30 minutes later, this full record, shout out to Alchemist with the beat, in full response, that is a very in-depth record, comes to light. Now, we're going to talk about the possible factual or maybe, fabricated information is in that record. And if fabricated information hurts a diss record, I think in this case it kind of does. But again, Drake even said this on the Heart Part 6. He was able to drop They Not Like Us, so we didn't even have to think about the discrepancies that were in that previous record. So that's another win for K-Dot. 36 Chambers with the super chat says Drake's The Heart Part 6 was capped. The narrative he spun was a fan theory on Twitter and Reddit 2 days before. The Stans Ghost wrote Drake's song and he scrambled. I agree. Because the thing is, how can you sit there and say the person that you got this information from was this, and this, and then turn around and say, well, you got the information from me? It's cap. Come on now. Matt Max of the super chat says, so we can make daughters up and count disses. We're going to talk about that. I don't think so. I think that is definitely a flagrant. I think that is a disqualification. But again, he was able to recover with They Not Like Us. Now, if he didn't have They Not Like Us and all we had was just that to remember on, yeah, I think that we could talk about possible disqualifications there. Free with the super chat says, that slavery line only bothers you because it's Drake saying it. Rap ain't freeing anybody, and Drake took Atlanta rappers to national from regional. We got to talk about that too. Now, the Migos are on their way up anyway. We'll talk about that. Decon Cast with the super chat says, when Drake wanted to switch from being Mike to Prince on Family Matters, I knew Kendrick had him shook. He was in the identity crisis. Let me address that. I really, 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 really didn't like what Drake had to say in that Michael Jackson thing. I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. Another thing showing how disconnected. But Kendrick didn't have great things to say about Mike either. But I think Kendrick spoke on Mike based on Drake proclaiming himself to be Michael. But I want some more clarification on both ends on that. Hopefully the Rosenberg interview with Kendrick will provide that. And I know you guys listen out there. Please address the Michael Jackson stuff. Reggie Silver with the super chat says, Not Like Us was trash. Meet the Grams was the KO. But the Heart Part 6 puts that track in question now. I'm leaning Kendrick, but it was a close battle. Yes, very close. You know what? It's a lot closer than people are making it seem right now. You could tell that there's a lot of people that want to see Drake move to the side for sure. And for whatever reason, I don't know. Maybe those are some things that we could talk about later on in the show as well. But the dog piling on Drake at this point is very interesting, especially him being a guy who the industry really rallied around. And now things are just totally, I don't even want to say split. It's just like, yo, everybody else is over here. Drake's over here. Now, I will give Drake credit, man. He rapped his ass off during this time period. This is the best I've heard Drake rap. He sounds hungry. It's the best I've heard him rap possibly ever. And I'm not even a huge Drake fan like that. But you're going up against Kendrick, you got to step it all the way up. But it still wasn't enough. Dot with the super chat says, I don't care what anyone says. Drake ripped that beat on the heart. He did his thing, man. And we can't deny that. I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible here because I'm just listening to it for what it is. I'm not a super fan of any of the individuals here, but I will say when it comes to lyricism and album making, those are the things that I hold extremely high when I'm talking about my hip hop music, and Kendrick does those extremely well. So by default, I would have to be more of a Kendrick fan, right? I listen to more Kendrick music than I do Drake. Drake's all over the radio. I respect, where he comes from with it. But as far as the way he performed throughout this back and forth, and I'm not saying it like it's over, but even at this juncture, it's impressive. He did his thing. And we also have to factor in the guy that we have all been talking about was the best MC out of the three of them, bowed out early. And so I got to give Drake credit for staying the course and showing up. You know what I'm saying? It's like sports. When somebody shows up in the clutch, you got a regular season guy who might be putting up numbers in the regular season, But when it's playoff time and it's winning time, you got those people who are ready to go down to the last buzzer, and Drake did that, even in a loss. It's not over technically, but let's just say it is over right now. Let's just say we cut it off right now. Drake really held it down in a loss, and but Kendrick was just too much. Jay Short with the super chat says, also Kendrick being gone and out of the spotlight for 5 years really helped him. How can you dig up dirt on a shadow? And he really only had one body of work for you to go at. True, for sure. I think we got some more super chats here. Keep them coming. DJ Bruce Almighty says the way that he was talking to his son, yikes. Yeah, that. But see, again, that's that pedal talk. We'll get to that. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says he didn't make it too. There's a 2015 article about him possibly having a son. That's why I believe the mole story. 36 Chambers with the super chat says they focused on the daughter, but the opening line, "Dear Adonis," was insane. The comments about OVO crew that were true? Question mark. Baca not nice, etc. Drake stands overlook how hard the diss was to spike the kid. See, the thing is though, what Kendrick did that was so masterful in this whole thing, he gave every hip hop listener a record that they could rock with, right? Like the person that's looking for storytelling and narratives, you have Meet the Grams. The person that's looking for a banger and catchy hooks, catchy lines, you got They Not Like Us. The breakdown where you go from beginning to end and you just barring them up, you got Euphoria. And 616 is just him showing like, yo, I'm just the superior MC of these two. Mad Max of the super chat says Kendrick won for the moment. 15 years from now, Drake will be the victor. I don't know what that means exactly. DJ Bruce Almighty with the super chat says, I'm sorry, Mike, typos. There's a 2015 article about him possibly having a daughter. It wasn't made up. Well, this is what I say about the daughter thing. Somebody's going to have to produce something, right? Like, I think that we're going to have to see this daughter uncovered or, revealed to some extent, mother, something, before we can even take it as somewhat facts. But right now, it just seems like rumor, especially how publicized all of this is. You would think that with all of this going on, the 11-year-old or the parent or something would come forth. So until that's proven, I don't think that we can run with that like it's the truth. You know what I mean? Derek Matthews with the super chat says, does this battle move him up in your list of MCs? For sure. I think that what he just did in this battle, and let me be quite frank here too. We said this before it happened. This battle was going to move one of them up anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like the way that it was going to go down, if Drake were to beat Kendrick in this situation, like handedly, or, kind of like where Kendrick is right now, then yes, that will move Drake up. I mean, he's already battle tested, but this is the main event. This is what we've been waiting for the whole time. It would move him up. But with Kendrick and the way he did this, and conceptually how he did this, and the amount of records that he did in a short period of time, and it's not over, he probably has even more. What Kendrick fans should really be happy about is, number one, the consistency, right, over a short period of time, and the way that he's rapping, and the fact that he already has a banger on his hands. Like, Kendrick could go in the studio now. He's already in the rhythm. He could drop 10 more records, put They Not Like Us as the single, and we got a new Kendrick album. And at this juncture, probably a very good Kendrick album. You know what I'm saying? Good to great. Because we've seen, going back to Jay and Nas, we saw what they were able to make album-wise when they were going through their riff. You got the blueprint and Stillmatic. So I think both artists would definitely benefit from putting out an album right now. But the Kendrick album we would get right now, and the rhythm that he's in and the records that he has, I think would be epic. Jermaine Johnson with the super chat says, I personally don't like lies in the diss record. However, we've never historically disqualified a record based on lies. Pac lied about sleeping with Faith, but we still say hit him up. It's an all-time banger. I agree with that, Jermaine Johnson. Like, to a certain extent, there are some things that we're just never going to know if they're totally truthful or not. These guys are entertainers. So in entertainment, there is a wealth of lies that happen on record anyway. Nothing's ever what it seems. But something like this, I don't think that we've seen, a lie like this if it's not true, right? But again, like you said, a lie is a lie, and we've never disqualified that before. I think, and this is just my personal opinion, I think Meet the Grams is powerful without that 11-year-old daughter's story. And I wish he would have left it out if it wasn't totally true, because really, if we want to be, parse hairs and really nitpick, that is the only misstep from Kendrick in this whole back and forth, is if that's not true. But again, him dropping "They Not Like Us" kind of let me know that it may not be true, because "They Not Like Us" made us forget all about that conversation. Let's see if we can get Mickey up in here, man. I know we got Leroy Green in the building. Stay tuned for Leroy, man. Leroy's got a lot to say. We was talking offline. Let's see. So yeah. Why is that a misstep? Someone asked, why is that a misstep? If it's not true, that's the only quote unquote flaw that we could say Kendrick had in this whole back and forth. If there was no daughter's story and it not be, true, or maybe it is true, but let's just say hypothetically, we're talking right now. Let's just say hypothetically it's not true, right? I would say that, yeah, that's one of those things that someone could say, okay, well, he won this because he made up stuff. He didn't need to even do that to win this based on where he's going. Now, again, we'll talk about the pedo thing. Maybe he went far on that, but, I think that the way people are taking it, because people are sitting here dancing to a record where he's talking about pedophiles or whatever, it's like, I think people are taking that as name calling and aren't taking it as serious as it really is. And I think that part of it's what threw Drake off balance, where it made Drake go out there and address that so that he could clear his name. And he spent so much time defending himself that he couldn't even go at K-Dot anymore. I think it was Joe Budden that said, when he called into, I think he called in the Academic, he said, I like Drake on offense more than on defense. And yeah, in a rap battle, once you get to the point where you're having to defend, you've lost your juice. And now you're not really going at the person anymore. And that's what the Heart Part 6 was. He was defending himself on, how hard Kendrick was going on this whole pedophile thing. Brian G with the super chat says, was Jay-Z 36 in a karate class? No, he wasn't. It's true. Was he a Tybo hoe? Who cares? It was funny and it worked. Well, there's a difference between being funny and bringing up a serious human being to make your point about a person's character. Now, again, a lie is a lie, and we can't sit here and recreate the rules based on who's doing them. But I do think there's a bit of a difference between just saying something funny and actually making up a whole situation to basically break down someone's character. But again, I think that's something that they probably do in rap battles all the time, for real. Like, the face-to-face battles. And I think that really caught Drake off guard. He didn't think that Kendrick was going to go there. And I think Drake also panicked by saying, well, we gave you that false information on purpose because we knew that you were going to run with it. And it's like, that part I don't believe. Because if he did that successfully, I think that the Heart Part 6 or whatever the record would be called would be totally different if he duped Kendrick into that narrative and that story without his knowledge. He didn't sound confident enough on that to me. Democast with the super chat says, I think an album is coming. it could cap off this win. I think an album should come. I think that Interscope is one of the smartest labels from a marketing standpoint that I've ever seen on the face of the earth. They're not going to have this man this visible with this many records without no album coming. I just don't believe that. Just like I said, after him doing the Super Bowl, he didn't drop an album. He didn't have an album yet. I believe the opposite in, yes, if he has this many songs out here, he's got 2 number ones out here, he has a certified banger out here, yeah, an album's coming. I don't see why I wouldn't. And I'm sure he's getting beats from everywhere. Now, LP with the super chat says, and even then, it worked against Drake because by the time that he revealed the con, he was in defense mode. Not like us changed everything. There was also too many holes in that song. Great battle, though. I agree. Not Like Us changed everything. And I think that when we revisit this years from now, we're going to look at Not Like Us as the victory lap. This is the one that actually won it. Rigomatic with the super chat says, why nobody talking about how Euphoria bodied Cole? We're not going to talk about Cole because Cole's out of this. And I think Cole got some wind of the momentum that Kendrick had. Cole wanted no parts of Kendrick. I mean, I think, and I say that respectfully, Cole wanted no parts of Kendrick. And maybe Cole is focused on his album and focused on being in album mode. But based on what we just experienced Kendrick doing to Drake, and that's the other thing about Kendrick's stock rising right in front of our eyes and his ranking rising in front of our eyes. It's not just about what he did to Drake. It's about the fact that he made Cole back down before any of this happened. Cole caught wind of the fact that this nigga had this in him. And if he would have been able to body both of them, I mean, in real time with both of them trying, man, this would have really been ugly, man. And Kendrick would have, I mean, like Kendrick said, man, ain't no big three, it's just big me. And he was ready to defend that. And I got to give Kendrick credit. I apologize for saying that Kendrick wasn't going to win this. I even said he wasn't going to respond. Damn, I was off. But see, Kendrick, you taking that time off is what made me feel like that. Let's see if we can get somebody in, man. Let me see if Mickey's ready. Because I want to hear his. Oh yeah, we got yo, what's good, brother?
I thought I was chilling in the back, man. What's up?
I know much, I'm on here. Bruce Almighty says, I read today Schoolboy Q Warren Cole. I read that too. What are your thoughts, brother?
Where we at? They're multifaceted. Are they good, the bad, the ugly? I'm glad everybody showed up this weekend. We had Drake, we had Kendrick, but I think there are things being lost, and I think we're gonna have Mickey on here in a second, so we're looking at it from a multi-layered perspective. I'm gonna call this one "Man versus Machine in the Art of War," right? Where if we're gonna go to war, I mean, have some art in it, and I think everybody showed up. Kendrick had a great weekend. We was all vibing. I'm from California, but I wouldn't say it's over. I wouldn't say it's over.
You don't think it's over? Okay.
I think when a fight pops off and it's just like everyone's going crazy, swinging right out the gate, but then after you give it time to settle and the two show back up, like, okay, now I'm ready to see you. Like it's gonna be. It wasn't a street fight. Now I'm here, and I think Drake showed up last night, and that's the Drake we wanted to come outside. Was that Drake? So he showed up, and that's when you say you mentioned A minor, but niggas got a B sharp. You thought you left D flat, but D major. I'll slit your throat with a razor. It's particular on how he's writing that, and that's Drake. He showed up. Like I said, Drake is a student of Little Brother, of Fonte. There is a style with Fonte with how he delivers something. There's a working your way up to it and delivering it, and Drake does the same thing. And these are why Drake and Kendrick are master teachers, and that's what I don't want to get lost in all the craziness. That music wise, we should look at what's on the table. Like I said, this is man versus machine. So on all different levels, you could take that. We talked about the AI, right? So we have to learn to figure out the architecture of how somebody writes. So that way, when you hear two things, you know what came from the person, or because there's some things that a machine cannot calculate, right? When Drake came up with that rebuttal scheme, a machine can't piece that together. With A minor, that's a double. B sharp, that's a double. D flat, D major, the inflection on them. That you thought he was going to end there, and he kept going. He extended that line to something else. A machine can't do that. So we have to really listen, and let's go though.
Let me get to the super chat real quick. Yo, Mickey, what's good, brother? How you doing?
My guy.
What's up, y'all?
Oh man,
My guy,
a whole lot. Let me get to these super chats and I'm gonna get to you, brother. Deacon Cass with the super chat says Drake lied his whole career perpetrating the front. Let's see what we got. We got Jadarian with the super chat. Shout out to Jadarian in the room. He says they not like us. Takes skill to make such a serious content. A street banger takes talent. They not every has. If you look at this artistically, I think I know what you mean. Esquire with the super chat says Cole wasn't ducking lyrical smoke. He avoided the personal gossip that would have been required to come out on top. There's real animosity between Dot and Drake. Now that I can agree with. So Mickey, let me get this last super chat. Mr. Smith with the super chat says Drake went personal first. And Dot warned not to go there. Dot even knew the angle Drake was taking and said so in Euphoria. He was 2 steps ahead the whole time. Okay. Where you at with this, Mickey, man? You think this is over? Who you got up? What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I think it's over. I believe that Kendrick and his team feel that Drake is waving the white flag, which is unfortunate.
Do you agree with that assessment after hearing the Heart Part 6, though?
No.
Okay.
I just think Drake doesn't want to, he doesn't want to mudsling. He wants to see who's the better rapper, who can make the better records. But Kendrick is attacking, and he, at least from what I see, it kind of comes across as Kendrick is ready to go, and Drake, he just don't want to deal with the gossipy stuff,
right?
Which is fine. But then he was engaging in it a little bit too. But the thing is, he feels like the pedophilia stuff, and the daughter stuff was fake, and he feels like there's rules to a match, and it's no.
Now I want to ask you that. I mean, because I know you've been in the battle, on wax, in person, all of that. Is it a violation or is it a disqualification if, let's just say hypothetically, Kendrick did make up the whole daughter thing, or is it just entertainment, or is that fair in a diss record?
They gave him the information.
Yeah.
If they gave me that information, I'm using it too.
Yeah.
And then if it comes out fake, I'm pivoting.
He did that.
Kendrick did everything he was supposed to do. He pivoted. All right, it's fake. Bet. Let's go here though. Let's go here. Let's go here.
I want to let Mick cook. So I'm gonna just say something real quick. I'm gonna let you cook, Mick. Again, master teacher in a building when it comes to this, right? But if someone were to battle with someone with your skill, like a Kendrick or a Drake, there is no rules, but you kind of should put some rules in place, because if you just go crazy on Mickey Factz, it's not going to end well. Like Mickey is going to come with fire that you are just not prepared to respond to. So that's why you may want to use rules like, hey, leave the women and children out of it because it gets too crazy. I'm gonna let you cook.
I mean, again, I'm always of the ilk of keeping it rap, keeping it lyrical. You know, so I'm gonna attack your writing. I'm gonna attack, you know, what you've done in the music industry. You know what I'm saying? I'm attacking that. Once somebody injects personal things into the match, it's fair game. Now it's fair game.
Right.
And you know, I wasn't gonna. I don't. Once I start, I have the mindset of Kendrick. Once I start, I'm not gonna stop, right? And I feel like Drake was like, "Look, this stuff is not true. So since it's not true, I don't want to play no more." And for me, to me, it's just defend yourself, right? Then you attack.
Yeah,
That's how you do it. I don't know what Drake's thought process was, but Kendrick, you know, you recognize that Kendrick never was on the defensive this entire time.
Nope.
Never got on the defensive. You want to say that I beat my fiance? I'll show the proof. Show the proof.
He didn't even address it.
He didn't even address it. He just kept shooting. He just kept shooting. And that's how you do it. Like, I don't have, if you have, the burden of proof is on you.
Yeah.
If you throw that out there, the burden of proof is on you. I don't have to prove anything. Like, I'm just shooting. That's it.
Well, let me ask you this. How would you rank these songs throughout this whole battle so far? Well, let's be easy here. Top 4. Because I know we got
it's about 12.
Yeah, it's a lot. Yeah. Let's say the top 4.
Top 4, I would say definitely Family Matters.
You got Family Matters number 1?
No. You didn't tell me to rank it. You just said top 4.
Okay, I got you.
You want me to rank it?
Yeah, if you can. Family Matters is hard though.
Meet the Grams is probably 1 for me.
That's where I got number 1 too.
Meet the Grams is 1. Family Matters is probably 2. Not Like Us is probably 3.
Yeah.
And 4 is probably Euphoria.
It's
probably Euphoria.
Adonis is in the building. He said, come into this rooting for Drake. Not a K-Dot fan, but he made me one though. The last Drake diss was definitely a concession speech. It did feel like that, and I think it didn't feel like that really until the talking at the end, right? I think that the whole time, like you said, he was defending, and didn't really do too much on the attack on the Heart Part 6. At this point, I don't really know why he even named it the Heart Part 6, though.
I don't think Drake was conceding. I don't think he was conceding.
What do you think about the Heart Part 6 then?
I like it. I thought it was dope.
Yeah.
I have that right after Euphoria.
Okay. So you think that it's a setup for another one?
Yeah, I don't think Drake is done.
Okay.
I really don't. I don't think Drake is done. In the slightest. They think he's done. I don't think he's done.
It does feel like they want him to be done.
No, they don't care. They don't care. They don't care. Kendrick does not care. You know, I had got a call on what day was that? Was it Saturday? I got a call on Saturday and they were like, we don't care when he drops. We're just gonna keep shooting. We're gonna keep shooting until we feel we're done, or he stopped or he quits. You know, they were loaded up. They were loaded up. I heard
they both got albums on the way.
Kendrick was supposed to be dropping an album this month. I don't know how true that is, but what I do know is he had a whole bunch of records.
Yeah.
There's still more Kendrick records. They were gonna drop Sunday. They were literally going to drop on Sunday. This is what happened because DJ had, and there was somebody else from the camp. It might have been Ab Soul. And they were saying it's going to be a Sunday service. Somebody said no rapping on Sunday. And then somebody from TDE was like, "Oh, we're gonna be rapping." Drake dropped. They listened. After they listened, everybody on TDE tweeted "Good battle," and that was it. But they were ready to drop on Sunday. They were literally ready to drop Sunday.
So what I take from that is they didn't feel like the Heart Part 6 was strong enough to respond to yet.
I think no, they took it as he was conceding, and the internet is taking it as him conceding. I don't take it as him conceding. He said he just didn't want to deal with the fake angles. He didn't want to deal with fake angles, and him talking at the end of the verse is what ended the battle.
I agree. I think if he would have just left it there,
if he would have just left it, they would have responded last night.
Empyrean with the super chat says, my main pet peeve with the Kenny Stan crowd is the narrative that Drake can't rap and only makes pop music, and that catchy music is for dumb people. Listen, Drake has proven, if anything, to the people who are Drake deniers to a certain extent, he has proven, if anything, that he can rap on any level. And he rapped his ass off in this back and forth.
Only thing I want to say is I'm from the school of thought where you don't say when it's over. You let the person that you're fighting say when it's over. So you fighting, and you like, all right, you done? Until the person says I'm done or I don't want, then it's over. Drake never said he was done. I think he just got in pocket. He's like, okay, this is where we're at. Okay. Let's and Kendrick, this is what Kendrick asked for. So you're getting what you asked for. So it should be a holiday. I mean, if I asked for the battle, you come out to battle. I thank you because that's what I asked for. That's what Kendrick asked for. We're here now. Let's go.
We're here. Let's go. All right, before I let you go, Mickey, man, what do you see happening next?
I think Drake is going to drop something else. When, I have no idea. He's definitely not gonna stop being subliminal. He's gonna shoot. He's gonna shoot at him. Like, that's just what Drake has been doing that for years.
What type of record does he need, though? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it more Family Matters like, or is it more Heart Part 6 like?
This is what I thought he should have did. This is just my opinion. I think that before the Heart Part 6 drop, Drake should have called up 40, told 40, give me 3 timestamp records. Give me a 7 a.m. in Miami. Give me a 6:15 in Compton. Give me a 3 p.m. in Toronto. Give me three of those. Write 3 of those immediately. Boom. Then call up Just Blaze or the Justice League and get something outrageous. You know what I'm saying? Get something really outrageous for the streets. Then write 80 to 100 bars, show up to LA Leakers and rap on LA Leakers. Then drop the hit record.
That's what we're leaving out here. You're right. I think that this is a time for the guys who don't really do a lot of media, who don't get in front of the microphone and rap on like the LA Leakers or Flex or whatever. This is where this could really benefit you, because this could turn the tides. You're right. You know what I'm saying? You get on the LA Leakers and Drake get in the building with a 10-minute quote unquote freestyle. Yeah, that goes a long way.
Yeah, you put out 3 timestamp records. You get a Just Blaze record. You go up to the radio station, then you drop the hit. Now we got a real battle, because obviously Kendrick is not going to stop. I just feel like Drake. I don't know if the output is something that Drake is ready to do. And Kendrick is ready for the output. Kendrick probably listened to the record. Let me do some rebuttaling. Let me call up the people that are great producers, write to it, record it, and have it on standby. I push the button when the time is right. And I don't think Drake was in that thought process when he should have been. Right. And he got back-to-back. You know, that was the issue. He got back-to-back. He got hit in the morning on Friday. Then he got hit right after he dropped Family Matters. Then he got hit the next day with a fucking bop.
I think that was the key moment when he got hit after Family Matters, 30 minutes after it. Like you said, that's one of the stronger records in this whole thing. And he thought that record was going to live for a minute.
He did. He did.
And then he got hit with the Meet the Grams 30 minutes later. That's what changed things.
And then Not Like Us came the next day, which was a bop. No. That to me, that's what really hurt Drake.
Wow.
And Drake, I think Drake knew that. You know, I thought the Heart Part 5 was good. I thought it was. I don't think it was great. I thought it was a good response.
It was good.
And he should have taken that and said, "Okay, I'm ready. Let's just do this. Let's just keep going until somebody taps out." It just
right.
The TDE just felt like they felt like he's tapped out. So since he's tapped out, and they want him to provide proof and stuff, like nobody's trying to provide proof. If Drake is not providing proof that he manipulated the whole situation, then why does Kendrick have to prove anything?
Exactly.
I don't think Drake is done. Like he sounded like he was tapped out. I think he had to respond. Like Kendrick said something so egregious that I have to respond no matter what. If you call me a pedo, I have to respond immediately to let you know you're going crazy. So Drake just showed up with that. He showed up with that attitude, like, you're calling, like you're kind of going crazy now. So it's like I want to do this, but you could at least just keep it facts. Like if you're gonna speak on me, keep it real. Like that's all.
And so we. And on that note, we'll let you go, man. I know you got a lot going on, Mickey, man. Make sure y'all check out the Pete Rock interview that Mickey did with the According to Hip Hop on the channel right now. Man, you did a great job. I can't say it enough, man.
Appreciate it. I'm gonna send you a I gotta send you a
What's up?
Oh, I'm sorry. I gotta send you a flyer for Styles P.
Oh yeah, for sure. We gotta be there for that.
I got you. Need you to post that for me. We got Styles P pulling up May 22nd at Pendulum Inc. You know what I'm saying? So if you guys are interested, anybody in the chat, everybody that's watching, if you're interested in, you know what I'm saying, coming to see Styles P and potentially asking them a question, May 22nd, reach out to According to Hip Hop, reach out to me. We'll get you, signed up and ready to go. All right.
Sure, man. Appreciate you coming through, man. And, as this battle continues on, we'll be in touch. But, yeah, I love your insight on this because you've done this.
For sure. Appreciate it. I got to second that because, people that want to show up to these classes to talk to some of your favorite artists, I mean, it's amazing, man. And this is, Mick is dedicating his life to this. I'm dedicating my life to this. But it's like when you're in the room talking to somebody who you grew up listening, you're able to ask them questions. There are all type of things going on. We got to stay tapped in and we got to elevate to a higher, something higher. And that's what I'm hoping Kendrick does next time.
All right, brother. All right, let me get to these super chats. Programmatic says 8 bars worth of proven lies should be enough. LOL. We got Deconcast says this weekend we learned that Dot will stoop low and say whatever it takes to win a rap battle, just like any other battle rapper, Arsenal, Briz, etc. Sure. I mean, you know what? You're right. Critical Mass of the super chat says, so you lost your last battle because you were hiding a child, and the tactic for your next battle is to pretend that you have a secret child to fool your ops. Wait, what? Right.
And hold on and
cut that out, because you know what? Even if that is true, it sounds so far-fetched and so crazy that I just wouldn't even comment on it. Big Hushachi with the super chat says, Drake created a fabricated lie to make the people think that he was winning when he really is down bad after the last record. I mean, that's just the truth of the matter. Jay Short with the super chat says, maybe I'm old school, but I'm still waiting for the ether. No Vaseline or Mama Said Knock You Out type of song from this beat. These songs are good, but not iconic based on these guys' reputations. But see, this is the thing. I think that where this matchup is different is back then we were getting 1 or 2 records that was just the knockout punch. This is really happening in rounds in real time. So it's almost like, boom, round 1 goes to this person, round 2 goes to this person, round 3 goes to this person. And I think a lot of these records are kind of canceling each other out as we're going. So even if there was a quote unquote ether, here comes another record that happens before you can even take it in and feel like it is an ether. Because I really think that Drake thought Family Matters was that record. And when you listen to Family Matters, he did a whole lot on there. Family Matters got stopped because of how quickly people are able to respond in this current age.
Right. These two guys.
Imagine if Ether came out and Jay-Z was able to respond to it the next day adequately.
Right. Oh, well, I'm sure he would have, you know what I mean? But we stopped Jay-Z and Nas. I'm sure. I mean, asking Jay to rap, I'm sure he's all right with that. But it's like,
all jokes aside,
we stopped Jay and Nas from rapping because we said, oh, it's over. We ran into it and said, okay, stop fighting. And they were still charged up, ready to go. Like, what do you mean stop fighting? Like,
I will say this.
What?
I do think that in today's era, with Jay-Z's memory and the way that he was able to put out records so quickly back then and just stay on the precipice of everything that was going on, this format would have really suited his skill set very well.
Yeah, I say let him go, man, because these are two masters, Drake, Kendrick. If you want those huge records, they could give you that. These dudes are responding in a matter of days. So they're dropping that record in 24 hours. They didn't really think about that. They're just shooting that off. If they wanted to give you an ether or takeover, they could do that. You know, so these are the two guys that could do it. Out of everybody to challenge Drake in hip hop, it would probably be a job for Kendrick Lamar. You know what I mean? Or, you know, and that's where we're at. You know, so let him go.
What I get out of this, man, too, like I said, Drake did what I thought that he was going to do as far as like putting out massive amounts of material, but the rapping was at a level that I didn't think he was going to rap at. Kendrick surprised me with the massive amount of material that he put out because we're not used to him doing that. Like, we already know that Kendrick's bars are going to be there. But the whole argument with Kendrick, even before he was responding in this way, was, you know, he's a quality over quantity type of guy. That's always been his thing. You're going to wait for a Kendrick Lamar album, whether it's 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, whatever, because you know that he's going to focus on the quality. We've never known him to be a quantity type of guy in a quantity era. So that part was surprising. But again, what really, and I hate to pull Cole into this, but he's the guy that we all were saying.
Forgot about Cole.
Overall, both of these guys. There's no way after what we just saw that anybody can make a real argument that Cole is over these two guys. There's no way.
I mean,
these guys duked it out in the way that they did it.
The only way to do something is to do it.
7-minute drill in all of this. Like, let's just say 7-minute drill does qualify. Where does it go in the midst of all this stuff we're hearing? It's not better than Euphoria.
Again, that's a 7-minute drill. So he wrote that song in 7 minutes. I want everybody to go take 7 minutes and try to write a song that would take Drake out. You won't be able to do it. You know what I mean? So these guys can do all the stuff that people are asking for. It's just Cole doesn't want to sling mud. If Cole's like, man, you speak on my wife, it could get crazy, and I respect that.
I can respect that. I can agree with that.
I can respect that. You know what I mean?
Now, I will say this: we're talking about the truth versus fiction. Yeah. You can say anything in a rap battle, but I think that the truth is going to go further than fiction.
Oh, yeah.
Sure. Even though right now what we're seeing in this Kendrick and Drake thing, and I'm not saying it's fiction that, you know, they're saying that, I mean, listen, I have no knowledge of anything, right? I don't know any of these guys, but I would imagine based on the way that it's being approached, the pedo thing is fiction, right?
I mean,
the daughter thing seems like fiction right now, but I think that it's so entertaining that people don't care. And I'm with Mickey on this. If these things aren't true, I think Drake wasted time focusing on them where he could have just been on the offense as opposed to having to defend yourself against stuff that you know isn't true. You know what I'm saying? Like now you're backpedaling. And if it's not true, fuck all that.
I don't think he's backpedaling.
Because like you said, Kendrick never addressed, the whole allegations of him beating his wife or whatever Drake said on that end. He didn't feel like he needed to. And I think that's where Drake messed up. But maybe Kendrick, part of his strategy again, let me go so far where him being the person he is and the starter he is, he'll be forced to defend himself where he can't focus on me.
But again, though, Mike, if we're battling if I'm battling Kendrick and he comes out and says, "Oh, you're a pedophile," now you've created. I have two options. I could say, "You don't know what you're talking about. You're crazy," and just dismiss it, right? Which would be the truth because it's nonsense. But if you really want to get into that and you want things to get dark, well, then since it's war, we'll just get dark then, and we'll get all the sexual perversions, all the crimes, sexual craziness can if you want to go there, and that's where we're at. This is why I think we should pick which way we want to go, because if we're going to discuss things fully, it's going to get crazy. But let's go. If that's what you want on the table, something that's egregious and that heinous, then let's talk about it. But let's be mature about it. Let's remember that it's real stuff going on. Well, I don't know what Kendrick said in his song Mother I or whatever, but if we want to deal with these subjects, let's deal with it.
Well, I mean, let's face the elephant in the room here. Kendrick clearly doesn't like Drake for real, so it's not like this is just some friendly battle or something. Like this is really like they don't like each other, and it feels like Kendrick, and I could be wrong, Kendrick has more of a dislike for Drake than Drake has for Kendrick. And you can tell based on how far one is willing to go in this situation. Because even when Drake was kind of doing the whole Snoop and Pac thing, he was kind of like just poking at the bear on some, when are you going to respond type thing. It wasn't on some like, I hate you type shit. But the way that Kendrick is responding, it's there's real venom here.
I'm disappointed in Kendrick for that. I think Kendrick should have looked at it as let's just battle it. Now, I understand what happens when someone brings your family into it, but even at that cost, there is some responsibility to the position that you hold. It's not just on your side, Kendrick, it's also on Drake's side, but now people are picking apart your character, right? Because you have demonstrated a low vibration. That now the dirties the water, right? So it's time to pull that back. You went on 616, when in LA when you did that's the level you need to speak to this too. Speak on that level.
I think the colonizer points are strong enough. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that those are very strong points where I'll say it like this. I don't think that the pedophile narrative needs to be the main focus on, with Kendrick. Like I think that the way he broke down the whole colonizer mentality of an artist like Drake and the way that it fits and all of the artists that he utilized to get to where he is, I think those things are some very strong points that it's going to be tough for Drake to even make music to prove people
so many skews
outside of that. You know what I mean?
I said this is multi-layered. I said this is man versus machine. That includes culture versus vulture, hip hop versus corporation, spirituality versus materialism. All these things are entwined in this, and this is why let them go.
This is we're gonna battle. And, I know people are looking for the ether and they're looking for the no Vaseline, but the sides that these two individuals are on, I don't think we've seen anything like this. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, this is culture vulture, quote unquote, versus culture. And we haven't seen anything on the mainstream level like that. It's almost like if back in the day, somebody like a Jay-Z would have battled somebody like a Common or something when the whole backpack versus mainstream thing was going on. Remember when the Roots did what they do and things like that. But now we've seen a time where the people who are more conscious do have a main stage and they're mainstream. And I'll give Kanye credit for that. You know, the backpack rapper has become the mainstream rapper, but you still have the mainstream rapper. And this is like if 50 and Kanye would have been able to just really battle it out other than rap sales. You know what I mean?
But just like Drake is a black man. He's half man, half amazing. He's a black man. That side, the hip hop side, is in him too. When he talks about that backpacker, that's still inside his writing. So this is a chance for him to say, okay, outside of my medals and on my jacket and my honor and my prestige that I've earned, I can take this jacket off and I still have all the hip hop elements here. So he should do that. You know what I mean?
You know what? There's not many people in the history of this shit, and I'll give both of them credit, but not a lot of people are going to be able to diss Drake's ability to battle after this, whether it's a win or a loss, because we sit here and think about all of the battles that have happened throughout. Like, dude's rapping, man. Jay Short with the super chat says, now we're basing battles on truth. Pusha T said that Drake had a hidden son and imposed in blackface, and that was true. And Drake fans still refuse to acknowledge Pusha won that beat. I don't think there's anybody with a real basis that can say that, you know, Drake won that. Drake tapped out of that one. Now, Drake tapped out of that one.
If you're
I'm going home.
If you're going to lie about something, pick which lies to tell. You don't have to tell a lie that's so egregious that it's crazy. You could tell a lie like, oh, you sold your soul for a treasure chest of diamonds. Well, that probably never really happened. But the lie is a larger conversation, which covers
like a 36-year-old in a karate class, right?
That sounds crazy to me. And let's say Jay-Z was in a karate class at 36. Can he not take karate or something?
Well, you gotta think about the times. Back then, being a 36-year-old rapper was old. That's not old anymore, but yeah.
25 was old back then.
Mrs. Smith super chat says, so it's okay to say Dot's son isn't his, or the Dave V allegations. Can't start the fire, Drake, and then get upset when the house burns down. Drake went there first. It's fair. I think that once he did that, he opened up the door for all of this. And
it's a pattern.
What Drake has a bad habit of doing, and he did this in the Pusha T thing, he'll get disrespectful, but when the disrespect gets even more disrespectful, then he says that's too much disrespect. Like he did that with the 40 thing when Pusha was like, you know, tick, tick, right? And one could say that's in poor taste, but again,
it is in poor taste. So that's where a lie, it doesn't have to be the truth, because Kendrick is calling you a certain type of person, so you're calling out people's wives first. So that shows a certain kind of person would do that, you know. So you gotta stop doing that.
Right.
And you're creating a pattern that an AI can study patterns and behaviors. When you do the same pattern, now the AI can write your songs because it studies your patterns and behaviors.
Rigomatic says Drake should have never responded to Euphoria. Again, I think he responded to Euphoria, because he thought that that's all Kendrick had. But let's get history correct. Euphoria happened, then 616 happened. And then Drake came with Family Matters. I think that, again, he thought that was all that Kendrick had, at least for the moment. You know? And then he got hit 30 minutes later, and I think that's where he went on the map, man. And I think at this point, he's trying to reset, right? I think that he has an opportunity after the Heart Part 6 to come back with something else where he's more of on the offense instead of on the defense. Kendrick doesn't have to do anything right now. They're not like us is riding, like it's living. It's that
Well, when people say that's all they have, like these are all the shots that Kendrick got or Drake got, these guys can do songs forever, so they'll
Yeah.
never run out. They don't have an ending to songs they can do. Like they already released 1,000 songs to get where they're at, so they could go in at any time. They could look at their watch right now and go in and come up with something crazy.
Well,
So
we
it's
gotta
like,
ask ourselves, when does a battle ever end though? Like we haven't really seen this round for round matchup. Usually in the past, a battle ends when somebody makes a whack record, right?
no, I think it ends when you see Jay and Nas sitting next to Sway, and they're like, yeah, me and Nas was kicking it the other day, and you see them next to each other. Now you know it's over because
The
they
back and
sitting right
forth
next
was-
to each other.
But see, the back and forth had ended well before that. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, let's pinpoint when that battle actually ended. What was the last
Yeah.
thing that Jay said about Nas, and what was the last thing that Nas said about Jay?
I think Jay was saying what Drake just said in his last song. He was saying, okay, now I'm ready. Like at first I was kind of not trying to take it there, but now since you're saying that I am an evil person, like you took it outside of rap and my character is evil. So now I have to come out on Blueprint 2. I have to make a Blueprint 2 and break down the hypocrisy and what I see in you while you're looking at me. Now, so I think he's getting ready. He's ready now.
But the song that you're talking about, the Blueprint 2, he admitted to losing.
He didn't admit to losing. He said, even if. So even if means even if.
I thought he said
even means even. So it's like even this way or even that way. It doesn't mean that I'm saying it's this way. It means even. It means even if I lose, I still win because you're listening to what I'm saying. I'm still rapping. I'm still who I am. I'm winning anyway. But he's saying that it's not definitive. It's even. Even if.
Blueprint 2 is a formidable record. I think that the timing of it is all bad because it was kind of over.
Listen,
I wish that if it would have been in the place of Super Ugly, I think that it would have been. I don't think it would have been different. I still think Nas would have won, right? I think the result would have been the same, but I think it would have stretched out a little bit more. The Nas that I was hearing at that time, that made Last Real Nigga Alive and stuff like that, like he was.
That's the last song, right?
Laser focused, man.
How do you respond? It's almost like Drake. If I find out that you have a childhood trauma, how do I continue a battle with you? Now, if I'm Jay and Nas tells me, my mom died, I'm grieving my mother, I'm not gonna keep battling you, sir. The battle's over. The battle's over. I can't battle you. I can't battle you.
You're not gonna do that.
But you're saying that you're saying that in the moment you're grieving, like in that moment. I may have known that happened, or I don't know what Jay knew. But if you're telling me you're grieving, it is not the time for me to battle you. Like it's just not. Well, I respect. I have some code of ethic. I have some, even in war, I respect your time.
I agree with you, but I mean, again, I don't know what Jay knew, but I will say this: they knew a lot about each other. Steve Stout was kind of a middleman at that point.
Right.
It feels like, from a fan standpoint, that Jay saw that not only did Nas just drop his weakest album, he wasn't totally focused. He had lost his mom. He was grieving his mother. Right. This is the perfect time to take the crown. That's the way it appears. You know what I'm saying?
That's a reach. That's a reach. Could take
a reach. How is that a reach?
Because really, there is no crown. We don't have a crown in hip hop. We don't have a crown. I'm wearing a crown.
There was no crown.
We don't have a crown. Like we don't have an official something that says this is the crown that we give this person and he holds the crown. We don't have that. So
there was no King of New York crown. Come on now, Leroy.
I think when you paint someone who preys on someone after their mother passes, I think you're going beyond rap. You're painting the person it's like calling someone a pedophile. Now we can't even focus on you rapping.
No,
because you just dirtied the water so crazy Because people's mothers are innocent, and that's what Jay's mom had a problem with. This is why Jay's mom, like, yo, we're going to moms, like, yo.
So hold on.
That ain't what we're doing. That ain't what we're doing.
In that moment, that made a line, you know, leaving the condom in your baby seat,
right?
Stoop to that.
When it comes to when someone dies, though, I don't know if you're stooping when you're preying on death. I don't think Jay is doing, because Jay is in a position to where he doesn't need people to die. Like, he doesn't need Nas' mom to die. It's not that deep. Like, it's not that deep. Like,
I'm not saying that he quote unquote needed that, but again, this was the perfect opportunity to catch someone who isn't totally focused, and it feels like
so it's over.
Looking in, it feels like from the outside looking in. Not only did he just drop his, weakest album at that point, right? Not only is that going on in his personal life, it's like, well, yeah, it's time for me to go ahead and just take the crown like King of New York.
Jay could have been thinking about himself. Like, I have this going on, I have that going on. So yeah, I'm in a battle with you, but I'm not thinking about the tragedies in your life or what's going on. I wasn't thinking about that. I was thinking about what I was doing. And this is the timeline of it. This is the timeline. Now, people wanted it to be over because it was so messy. Just like this situation is so messy, people are like, yeah, it's over, it's over, it's over. That's because you don't even want to hear messiness in your mind no more.
Well, this is what I will say though, Leroy. When he did find out that the man lost his mother, he never was like, you know what, this is all silly. You know what I'm saying?
He showed up on Black Republicans. He found out about his mom and showed up on Black Republicans.
You're skipping history. That's like 2007 or 6 or something. Oh, Brian Stevens super chat said Ether ended the battle. The Hot 97 poll cemented it, and the super ugly backlash made Jay realize it was over. Jay says Jay cried on live radio over Ether. Fuck you mean?
Jay is what Drake is today. He's not Jay. Jay represents a corporation in your mind. So you're attacking Jay because he represents corporation, and Drake is the representative of corporation. So you're attacking Drake because he represents something that you don't quite agree with. And that's why no matter what, the people are going to say Jay would lose, because how could they say anything different? In their mind, Nas represents grassroots community, purist rap. And Jay represents corporation, materialism, and everything evil. So, but I'm saying there's a balance in between that I think that we should get to. And that's what Drake and Kendrick are capable of giving you that on that level, to where we could find a healthy balance in them, because you need both. If you're just super purist without the business, if you're super business without the purity, you need both.
Mrs. Smith with the super chat says Drake brought up the pedal angle first on TM. Hey, listen. I mean, at some point on the show, Leroy, I mean, you had to be critical of Jay on some level. Like, Jay is perfect, huh? I'm a Jay fan.
No.
I'm a Jay fan. Have you ever said anything bad about Jay or anything? I don't want to say bad. Anything?
Well, no matter what. When you
go through the catalog, like
when you make an action, in that action, two things are going to happen: one good and one that could be perceived as bad in that same action. So I could always break down anything about Jay and find the bad stuff, because that's going to exist on everybody, period. So yeah, I could, but overall, I'm looking at the overall picture. I think he's pretty good at what he does.
No, he's great.
You know what I mean? I think he's really great. But I ask me something specific, specifically, and I'll be able to answer what was wrong with that.
Okay, Michael Williams came with some clarification. I appreciate that. He says, Mike, Nas's mother was alive when Takeover dropped. She died in 2002. How was Jay supposed to know that she was going through chemotherapy when he dissed?
How would you know that?
Yeah, you wouldn't.
You wouldn't know. How would he know?
No one would stoop to getting that type of information and going in. So,
but the fact you think that someone would stoop that low, the battle is already lost. The fact that people think that Drake may do certain things and may think that Kendrick does certain things, the battle's already lost. Now you're fighting a darker evil now that you've introduced in a pure place. Hip hop is supposed to be purer than that, you know. So I'm
Even
disappointed
in battle,
in both.
I mean, because we are notorious for saying that anything goes in a battle, right?
We've evolved.
Wyclef actually posted something, and I want to read this, right? Wyclef, and you know, he comes from Jersey. He comes from the battle culture. He says, as someone who came up in rap battles, being part of our culture in New Jersey, in Brooklyn, here's my opinion as a Fuji. Drake versus Kendrick. In true form, a battle rap, anything goes. The key is to be ready with what's called a rebuttal, which means that you get to respond back to a diss track as it comes out. So you get to put out facts to any lies that you feel your opponent has casted on you.
If we say this is how battle goes, we're saying that we're locked into one way of doing things and will never change. So we see the results of Big and Pac. Now we can lock into that and double down on that. But what if we evolve beyond that? Now, the reason why we need to is because if they put out a robot rapper tomorrow, like one that we saw a couple years ago, and he's spewing nothing but the most vicious, hate-filled stuff, who programmed that robot? We programmed it. We programmed it by the crazy stuff we're saying. So we may want to pull back on that. You know what I mean?
G-Roll with the super chat says Nas's mom was sick. He obviously got that info from Carmen. He preyed on that like a snake, thinking the Nas wouldn't respond. OG Omar. Shout out to OG Omar with the super chat says Jay knew she was sick. Carmen is the link. In the middle of that, Jay tried to sneak attack, assassinate my character, degrade my hood. Because in order for him to be the Don, Nas had to go.
And that was wrong. That was wrong. It was wrong of Jay. It was.
I love that record, man. Last Real Nigga Alive is my favorite record, and they're back and forth, man.
That the tempo was too like it sounded sad, like, and that this last Drake song, it's like kind of sad. You're talking about somebody who made, you know, you're talking about like certain stuff that is really sad, man. And that's how the song sounded. And like, if I engage with the sad energy, I just don't want to.
You talking about Last Real Nigga Alive?
A Last Real Nigga Alive and the song that Drake just did. Both of those songs sound sad. Now, I don't want to engage with a sad energy.
A sad energy? Yo.
No, the songs don't sound sad.
I want Esquire to come in the room. Esquire, you trying to get on? I didn't know Esquire was in here. Yeah, I mean, I think that it's not a quote unquote sad energy. I think it's more of a, you know, I mean, a storytelling vibe. I feel like, so do you feel like Meet the Grams is quote unquote sad energy, or is it setting the stage?
Yes, it is very sad. What I'm hearing is I would not want to engage with that energy. If you made Meet the Grams to me, I could engage it, or I could be like, your mind went to a place to where I don't even want to engage that.
So you want like club banger diss records? Like, what are your top?
No, I don't need nothing.
Top 5 diss records of all time. Then
I don't need no club banger. You could give me just a basic RZA beat, and it could be minimal, and I could go with that. But it's like I'm not gonna play into games. You wanted to rhyme, so let's just rhyme. Let's just rap. Let's just rap and see. Now, I think Drake, the delivery in which he delivered his songs, the first one was the Family Matters, right? There's 3 songs in Family Matters. The delivery, the punches, how everything landed, perfect execution. He's showing you I'm ready for this too. Then the song last night, same thing. It's just that if you want to, and Kendrick, love Kendrick, and Drake, but you're introducing stuff that people don't want to deal with. When I heard Last Real Nigga Alive again, if you're telling me that you're grieving something like that, the most significant death in your life, I cannot attack you no more. The fight is over. I'm not attacking that. I'm sorry. I'm not a beast. I'm not a savage, to just attack while you're grieving. You know what I mean? And Drake is saying that. Drake said that last night. Mother I. Oh, I remember. I get it. Now I don't even want to. Like, I can't even diss you. Like, yeah, like.
So are you saying you feel like Kendrick's winning, right?
In quantity, yes. In quantity.
In quantity.
But we got three.
He not winning.
We got 3 songs. We got 3 songs in Family Matters, right? They're 3 different beats.
Right.
And we got the one last night. So really it's 2, 4 or something, but really it's even. Drake gave you 3 songs in that Family Matters.
So you're saying that it's even right now. Kendrick's not up?
I'm saying aside from this messy stuff, you wanted to battle. Now I'm focused on just that battle with you. And Kendrick is like, okay, so now I'm focused. It popped off this weekend. So we got into a conflict on Friday. I spent the block on you Saturday and Sunday. You spent the block on me Monday night. But now that next week, we know it's a problem. Now everything is fortified. Everything is up. Everything is on full alert. Now let's go.
So you think Drake's going to come back from this? Is what I'm hearing. It sounds like
his response was last. Kendrick got to go.
He's winning right now.
Kendrick got to go. Drake was just on last night.
I think Kendrick is definitively winning. I don't think that Kendrick has to go with another record. I think that the onus really is on Drake for another record. Honestly,
Drake just rapped.
It's not good enough. It's not good enough.
We can't do that, man. We can't do that.
It's not, because the record They Not Like Us has dwarfed the record that Drake put out last night. It's Drake not like, okay, you have to match. You have to match.
Yeah, but you want Drake to prove he can make a hit record?
In this scenario, yes. Right now.
How many times would he have to prove it?
They're telling me like, yo, you want me to prove that I can make a free throw? No, I need you to prove that you can make a free throw when your team is down 1 and you got 1 second left in the game. I need you to prove that you can make 2 of these in that situation. It's different making a hit record in a vacuum as opposed to making that hit record right now. The pressure's on.
I think Drake has made enough hit records to where he has proven to me. He has proven to me he has that ability.
Drake has never been in this situation, Leroy. You gotta acknowledge that he has never been in this situation.
So the last
he bowed out with the Pusha T.
What was the first record that Drake dropped on Kendrick? That not something you could dance to?
Yeah, but
you can't dance to that.
Memory now. That record's a distant memory now, and I like that record, but that record's a distant memory now. We're not even talking about that record.
Let's get off the hits. Let's get off the hits. Let's get off the fame and the cameras and paparazzi. Let's get back to just the rhymes. It don't have to be no crazy beat. Give me the most basic beat that you got.
Can I step in for a second, guys? Can I play the referee? We got Super Duper and Esquire coming in. I didn't get a chance to expound my thoughts, man, because I got some personal things going on. But I'll save my thoughts till Wednesday. One quick thought: I don't think that it's over. I didn't really hear a concession. I know that the internet and Interscope is sending out people. It's convincing the fans that Drake conceded. I think he's losing right now. He's down on points. But I thought the Hard Part 6 was good. And I think that Kendrick Lamar did something that Drake didn't do in the battle. I thought that Family Matters could have been that record. But as you see across the country, They Not Like Us is turning up. I think he should lean into that colonizer angle. I think that's a legit angle. I like how he spun on Atlanta and kind of talked about how Drake incorporated a lot of Atlanta artists in his sound. It's dope, man. I think that Drake can bounce back. He's on the ropes right now, but I think he can bounce back. But that They Not Like Us is the for real. So I got super.
You guys they want them to stop rapping. Like hip hop fans are wanting Drake and Kendrick to stop rapping. I never thought I would see that. It must be because the water's filthy out here.
Let me get to these super chats too. OG Omar with the super chat says he made 2 jokes about him being molested on WDYM? ? Jay Short with the super chat says Nas changed the lyrics to Ether and softened them. Jay knew not to respond because there was more in the chamber. I mean, and as we know now, like Nas just had rhymes on rhymes on rhymes. He was not going to stop. Mommy Thoughts with the super chat says Leroy is losing all kinds of hip hop credibility over Jay. Are you a bigger fan of Jay than hip hop itself? Have some objectivity, bro.
When Jay-Z is in hip hop, so I don't have to make a choice there. He's in hip hop. But when the battle was going on, I saw Jay still doing everything Jay would normally do. I didn't see. I saw the album.
Leroy, don't be
the
like,
album
don't
still
be like
came
Drake.
out. The songs.
Leroy, don't
still
be
came
like
out.
Drake. Don't get defensive, man. Stay on the offensive, man. Don't get
No,
defensive.
I'm gonna defend. Well, some things are so egregious. Some things are so egregious, like what we saw last night, that you have to defend yourself based on the claim. If you're saying that I don't even respect hip hop now, I have to defend myself in that.
One thing I want to say before Super Duper and Esquire jumps in, I do think Drake took the ability for Kendrick to release the Hard Part 6. So now I don't know, does he release the Hard Part 6 or does he jump to 7? That was a clever move. Now he can't even use it anymore.
I say he could still do the Hard Part 6, just like Drake could still say nigga. Yeah, I mean, your Hard Part 6 ain't official. Mine is.
Okay, that's a fair point.
Devin Durant with the super chat says, "I've been saying the nerve of you, Dennis, all weekend." Catchy line too. Brian G with the super chat says, "Euphoria and Not Like Us are number 1 and 2 on Apple Music." True, it is. Michael Williams with the super chat says, "Jay responded to Ether twice. Super Ugly and Blueprint 2 exists."
It's no bias, y'all. I think if we had asked Jay and Nas, can you guys keep rapping? I think that would have been fire. But we said, no, stop rapping. I just say we should have said, can you guys keep on going? I want Kendrick and Drake to just keep. It's not biased. I just want to hear rapping. I wanted Jay and Nas to keep going. Why did Jay and Nas stop for? What are stopping them?
Because Nas knocked them out. Jay stopped.
You got Nas. These dudes. You got to knock Jay out physically. We can't talk about a metaphorical knockout.
Jay stopped. He didn't want it anymore.
Why? When did he say I don't want it no more? It sounded like Nas was like, I don't want no more. But now, if you're telling me you're grieving the passing of your mother, you're telling me to stop.
I have never, ever, ever in my life heard that Jay
respectfully
stop rhyming against Nas.
Respectfully, how do I respond to you?
Why are y'all letting Leroy get away with this right now?
Time out, guys.
Come on, man.
Leroy, man, come on, man. Chill out, man. You be getting wild.
One of my enemies,
this wild, bro.
If one of my enemies telling me they're grieving the passing of their mother, I'm stopping, bro.
Man, that didn't have nothing to do with it.
I'm not a savage. I'm not a savage.
He knew that already, man.
I'm not a savage, bro. I'm not a savage.
All right. So Super Duper Esquire, y'all go.
You know what? I'm gonna let Esquire go first because I know he gonna eloquently break this down how it should be, and then I'm gonna come in with the dirt and I'm gonna dirty it up again.
Okay. What's good, fellas? Appreciate y'all having me on again, man.
Man, we appreciate you joining us, man. All right. So what is your assessment of what's going on right now, brother?
Well, right now, I mean, I don't think you said it earlier, Mike. I don't think anybody that's really paying attention and is trying to be objective can say that Drake is ahead. The only pushback that I have right now, I do think Kendrick is comfortably ahead. I just don't think the distance is nearly as big as some people have been predisposed to believe. Leroy kind of said something about the Nas and Jay battle that struck a nerve, but I'm gonna take it with a grain of salt. I disagree with Leroy's, somewhat revisionist history about why Jay bowed out. He bowed out because he lost. That just is what it is. But one thing that Leroy said that I kind of agree with is that the dynamics and the personalities of the artists do play a part in how we assess the battles. Nas does represent the purist community in hip hop, that represents everything that's positive, that represents everything that's non-commercial, anti-establishment. And Jay represents like rising from rags to riches, and I'm gonna get rich by any means, even though I got bars too. So in a lot of people's mind, Jay spoke to that on Blueprint 2. He said, I will not lose, so they try to help him cheat. Now, don't get me wrong, Blueprint 2 was a concession, which is going to help me segue into this point about Drake. It is weird that Drake just dropped this. I mean, the song was lyrically, it was pretty good, but as Mickey Factz and so many people have acknowledged that it's weird that it's supposed to be a diss track, but it's kind of defensive, and it reminds me a lot of Blueprint 2 in that regard. Because it's like you're trying to you're trying to contextualize the narrative a little bit. However, I don't think the battle is over. And the reason why I don't think that it's over is just because I feel like at this point in time, there's just so much. There's nothing to gain from Drake like trying to go song for song with Kendrick at the rapid pace that Kendrick is going at. You know, Mike, you spoke about being surprised. I'm not really surprised that Drake is barring up. I think that Drake knew coming into this battle he couldn't, in good conscience, go into a lyrical spar with Kendrick Lamar and come with cookie cutter rhymes. But one thing that I am surprised by is the pace and the rapidity at which Kendrick is dropping all this music, because, like you said, it's always been quality over quantity. And I think that kind of caught Drake off guard. And you are right. The biggest momentum shift in this entire battle was when Drake dropped Family Matters, and within minutes, Kendrick came back with Meet the Grams. Now, song for song, I still stand by my personal belief that Family Matters is the best diss record. Not the most lyrical, not the most creative. I'm talking about pound for pound. It's kind of like the people that say Takeover is a better song than Ether. Even though I disagree with it, I understand it. However, timing and strategy all makes a difference, especially in today's era of like this microwave news cycle. And, you know, Drake was really anticipating that was going to be the death blow. So when Kendrick came back right away with Meet the Grams, and then he dropped another song, you know, right after that with Not Like Us, which is a banger. I think that really kind of made him go back to the drawing board a little bit. He wasn't prepared to have to continue fighting with Kendrick. And, you know, I will stand down on what I said the other day. But before that, I said that Kendrick was making very lyrical records, very conceptual records as we expected him to make. But he had yet to make one of those records that I felt like was really going to connect and stick with quotables and songs that people will be playing throughout the summer and for years to come. Not Like Us is that. I'll say this, and then I'll pass it over to my man Super Duper. The way I would rank the songs right now, I think that I still stand by the fact that Family Matters, in my opinion, that Family Matters is the best song. I would say number 2 would be Not Like Us, believe it or not. 3, I'm going Euphoria. 4, I'm going Meet the Grams. 5, I'm going Push Ups. 6, I'm probably going to say 6 and 7 are kind of tied between 616 in LA and the Taylor Made freestyle. And I think the song that Drake just dropped probably is the lower point in the battle. Not because it's a bad song. I think everybody has dropped a good record. Nobody has dropped a bad record yet. I still haven't really heard anything like one of the super chatters mentioned earlier that I see as like a groundbreaking all-time record. But I'm pleased with where the beef is right now, man. I'm as a hip-hop fan, I can't ask for much more, man. This is living up to the hype. Ready to see what else happens.
Yeah. Drake had to defend himself. When you call somebody certain things, he had to defend. Jay was defensive because he had to defend himself. You're taking it outside of rap and questioning my character, you know. And I'm supposed to be absorbed in myself. Every time something happens, I'm the first one to help. When Jay does something for the culture, everybody be quiet. Then when he does something wrong, he's the worst person ever. Well, Drake is saying the same. You're calling me the worst thing on planet Earth. So you're saying I'm the worst type of human. I have to defend myself because you're.
Hey, but don't you think at this point, I've been paying attention. I've been on the internet, and I just made it back home. The other day I was in a thunderstorm, so I couldn't cook like I wanted to. But the internet is pulling these receipts. They pulling receipts to show that Drake been messing with these young girls, and that, you know, I mean, the daughter thing, that's one thing or another. But they are pulling receipts to give credence to Kendrick saying what he's saying, as far as him being pretty much like almost a groomer. You know what I'm saying? So, but that's neither here nor there. Let's talk about the track, because now we playing the lie police, right? And either Drake is tone deaf and don't understand what actually Kendrick was saying to him, because in one verse he said that if I'm a snitch, you got to prove it with the paperwork. If he understood where Kendrick was even coming from, he wasn't calling him a snitch. Kendrick was saying that he was going to snitch on him with this pedo stuff. So Kendrick was calling himself the snitch. He wasn't never saying that Drake snitched on anybody. That's the first point. So Drake lied basically about that, or he just so out of it that he don't understand, or the ghostwriters didn't know what was going on. The second thing is when he brought up the Kendrick getting molested. Now, if you listening to that song with understanding, you know that Kendrick didn't say that he got molested. His mother didn't want him by the uncle house. because she molested or he molested her. It had nothing to do with him getting molested. So that's another one of the mistakes that the ghostwriters had to make. Because if you listen to the record, Kendrick never said he got molested. So, and then he came back with saying that he's speaking all facts. Where is his facts to show that he beat his wife? So if we're gonna play the lie police, man, I really don't care who lying. Like, honestly, I mean, like I said, I'm not, from the beginning, since we've been talking about this, I'm not a fan of either one of these guys majorly like that. I'm not picking a side. I'm going off the music. I think that Drake dropped the weakest track out of the whole saga so far. And he did say he quit. He said he was done. He said he was done.
So listen to the. I want to clarify. You said that the Heart Part 6 is the weakest track in this whole back and forth.
I think it's the weakest track in the whole back and forth. I mean, he's been defensive for pretty much the last two songs in a way. If you really listen to it, you could tell he been pretty much ready to go.
But look at what he had to do though. If you're calling me something, if you're calling me a pedo, now I have to respond and weave myself around the subject.
Man, we understand that, but listen, where there's smoke, there's fire. I have to talk about something. I have to talk about something so disgusting and then still make it a dope record. Like, but I have to acknowledge that. If you call somebody that, they have to acknowledge that. Like, you know what another mistake that Drake made in that song too? Drake made another mistake in that song where he was trying to say that he said that the leak was a clown. I sent the people that you get your info more, them clowns or whatever, right? Then he tried to spin it and say that he was sending them. So are they part of your team? Like, which one is it? It's like,
can I respond to that? Can I respond to that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm sorry. Go. You keep cooking, Super Duper.
No, go ahead. Go ahead. Respond. Go ahead. Go. You got it.
First and foremost, I agree with you about the lie police thing is kind of corny to me because I've seen people. It really started with the J. Cole thing when people say, "Man, them lyrics not gonna hit the same." Like, listen, contextualizing the lyrics to what's true and what's not is absolutely important. That's a really slippery slope. I have never heard anybody say that, man, Takeover don't hit the same because MC Search says Searchlight Publishing didn't exist until 2011. Listen, that's still a bar, bro. You know, can't nobody, even when Jay-Z said, you made it a hot line, I made it a hot song. We know The World Is Yours is a classic record. But the fact that there's manipulation that has to go into making a dope battle record, so that the notion of being a liar and fact checking and all of that. Listen, if the song hits you on initial listen, it hits you. If it doesn't connect, it doesn't connect. Whether all of the stuff that Drake set up about the so-called mole, is true or not, that doesn't take away from Meet the Grams for me. That doesn't really change it. However, what I will say about some of the Drake lyrics, and this kind of goes back to what I said about, I think sometimes people are predisposed to assign, I use the phrase artistic benefit of the doubt. Drake doesn't get the same artistic benefit of the doubt that Kendrick Lamar does. It's because it's easy to write Drake off as corny because he does a lot of corny stuff, and he leans into it. And it's easy to write Kendrick, and it's easy to put a label on Kendrick like he's infallible or he's not capable of making mistakes. He doesn't miss. And to be honest with you, even when he doesn't miss, he does such a good job of controlling the narrative by having great timing, great execution of very ambitious concepts that we don't really break down his lines the same way we break down Drake's. I'll give you an example. For instance, Kendrick said that you think my life is rap. You think I got time to be digging up dirt. Isn't that what he said on Euphoria? But What is this battle turned into? It is turned into mudslinging, but nobody's calling him a hypocrite for that. Now, on the flip side, with Drake, people are pointing out the line where he says that you're getting your information from clowns. And then they're also pointing out the perceived contradiction in him saying that, well, we leaked the information to you. Let me tell you why people are not really looking at the nuance of the line. I'm not being a Drake apologist. I'm just being unbiased. I'm trying to referee it. I said Kendrick is ahead, and I have Kendrick, much higher all time. But that's not a contradictory line because if he said, think about it this way, Kendrick didn't just accuse him of being a pedophile. He also accused him of what was the other accusation? He said you were a pedophile, and the other one is that you got a daughter that you're hiding. Yeah. If you really delineate who he's calling a clown, when he says you get your information from clowns, who's to say that he's not talking about the more far-fetched allegation of him being a pedophile? Now, if that's true, I don't condone that, and whatever he has coming to him, he deserves it. But that's not the same thing as saying I leaked information to your team about me having a daughter. I don't necessarily believe it, but I think it, in all fairness, if we're gonna give one artist the artistic benefit of the doubt, we have to do it on both sides. Like there are some people that are saying, man, Drake gonna have to provide proof of what he's saying against Kendrick, but Kendrick can just say no and deny it, and we're just gonna take it at face value. I don't really think that's fair. I think we need to just stick to the quality of the music. Contextualizing it to the real life circumstances is important. And right now, Kendrick is ahead just based on the music and the timing and the execution. And we don't even have to get into the weeds of, whose reputation is this, who has this going on in their personal life.
We respect truth, though. We respect truth more than a lie, though, correct? I mean, we would rather the truth, right? So if we're gonna battle, why not just use the truth? I think that's what Drake is saying. Like, bro, like we could just use the truth.
Yeah, but the stuff that Kendrick is saying, even if he's not, like, if you don't want to consider it pedophile behavior, it's very suspect behavior to be talking to girls that's 18 years old and been friends with them since they was 15 and stuff like that. That's very suspect behavior. So he got the right to assume whatever he want to assume and call it pedophile behavior if he wants to.
It's not
what about the domestic abuse?
It's not like it came out of nowhere.
Real quick, guys.
The domestic abuse allegations, though. And I'm not saying one is better than the other. They're both deplorable. Right. And that's what I was saying the other day. It's like it's really weird when we start comparing, which moral atrocity is worse than the other one. That's like,
but listen, Esquire, this is the difference. It's not evidence out there of Kendrick doing this. There's no
actually. Well, there are reports. There are reports just like there are reports of Drake. And I'm not saying either one of them is true. I'm speaking also from an officer of the court's perspective. Everybody's presumed innocent to proven guilty, right? And right now, all we have is loosely circumstantial evidence on both sides, or loose circumstantial evidence on both sides. Again, I don't stand by either one of them. I am telling you, I deplore domestic violence and sexual predatory behavior. I don't stand for any of it. But it's just odd to me that we are digging into, when we are assessing who's ahead, we're digging deeper on one set of allegations and we're not digging quite as deep on the other one. Like, to me, that's just not showing bias. I get it that there's video evidence that shows, that he's on stage with younger girls or whatever. But I will say this: who knows whether Drake sent a settlement check or whatever he did. The young lady that was on stage with him however many years ago, ironically, I just brought up the court. She is graduating from law school. Y'all posted it earlier. She posted that, there was nothing then. This was nothing now. She got invited to, her dad sent her to this Drake concert, and one of Drake's team members, picked her out the crowd. And I've been to many concerts in my time.
But that's one of many, though.
I've seen artists get picked out of the crowd. So it's like you can put whatever spin on it you want to. And I'm not defending it. I'm just saying that it's a very, very slippery slope when we believe what we want to believe in the interest of our bias. And that's all I'm saying here. I don't think that Kendrick, and you mentioned the Kendrick allegation. 2014, Angela Yee on the Breakfast Club, back when the Breakfast Club still had, a shred of integrity on the hip hop journalism side. Angela Yee actually asked Kendrick during the interview about a report from Miami in 2014 about a situation involving domestic violence. And all Kendrick did was denied it. And he said it's ignorant. Now, again, he's innocent until proven guilty. So if that's what you say, I'm not going to assume that you're guilty. But there was a report. People are just making it seem like the allegation just came out of left field. And it is something that has been reported on. I mean, don't get me wrong. Is it corny to dig for it rather than focus on the bars? You can say that. All I'm asking for is parity. And I'm asking for, just a little bit of fairness in how we judge things in the court of public opinion. That's just my opinion. Again, I stand by Kendrick is up.
John Norrie's on the line, guys. Let me get John Norrie on, and we're going to go in order. We got John Norrie coming up. You go first, John. Then we got
Hold on, we got Optimistic. I want to get to these super chats before we get to John. Welcome in, John. I can't wait to hear what he got to say, though. But let me get to these super chats, and then we'll go right into John Norrie real quick. Brian G with the super chat says, battles have to end. You want to hear it? Ether Part 17? Right. G Rose chat says, Drake said, Doc's son is his manager's, and he's a woman beater before Doc called him a pedo. Drake went low, Kendrick went to hell. Drake begged for it. And see, like I said, Drake has a bad habit of doing that. Like he'll go low, and then when people go low with him, then it's like, that's too low. Let's see. I think we got a couple more super chats. We'll get to John. All right. We got Devin Carrant. It says, Drake, soon as you drop, I'm on the loose.
I think we'd prefer the truth. If we have to pick between lies and truth, we'd all probably prefer truth.
I mean, it makes for a more powerful diss record, but we can't disqualify the entertaining stuff. OG Omar with the super chat says, that report was not about his wife. Okay. All right.
Fair enough.
You see how in Drake's response, he responded truthfully, like narrating all the bars in there. He wasn't trying to go extra. No. Let me take that back. There are lies in there about when he brought up a song, right? But he's telling his perspective without trying to lean on a lie. That's what I'm saying.
Bro, we don't know that. We don't know that. Why
you
we
say
don't
he doing
know
that because he don't have no bars. That's why everybody knew he gonna lose. That's how you Drake stands.
We're gonna say
where you at with it right now, John? Where you at with it, John Norris?
I just here for my victory lap once again. I told you he was going to character assassinate him. I said that from the beginning, and I said the reason why I knew this because you can tell from the way Kendrick, even though we never see him in a battle, so I was judging him from his past work. I can tell from the way he raps, his energy, that he's an impact kind of artist. But you don't know if you can sustain that long enough in a battle. So that was the test for Kendrick. You have these great moments in hip hop where your lyricism, your flow, all of that, your character, your personality, you can do that for a moment and set the world on fire. Can you do that long enough to win a battle? And he's proven that. He's the better writer. He's the better song creator. He makes the bops now. He's totally washed Drake. And the reason why Drake has to go low is because he has so much going against him. Y'all want to lean on this commercial thing. Jay was a commercial rapper, yes. Nas was commercial too, though. I mean, this dude wasn't no like off the block kind of rapper or somebody. Like both of these guys were kings of New York at one point. And the thing with Drake,
Nas is still on the block. In their mind, they see Nas is still on the block.
No. Let John
come on. He's Nas on the block. Come on, stop it.
In their mind, he represents the purity in their mind.
Stop it. Like, come on, MTV on the block. Stop it. Anyway, what I was saying is Drake. He has so much going against him. That's why he always so stoops. That's why he's always ready to go and talk to the. Oh, you're gonna attack the ladies, or I did this with your girl, because he has the ghostwriters against him. He has his corny way of going about moving in the industry going against him. He has all these allegations against him. He has the fact that he's not cultured with the American struggle, with the Black American struggle that's pushed hip hop to the forefront of culture all around the world, and he's not connected to that. He has that going against him. He has all these marks against him, and that's the reason why he has to muddy the waters to compete against these guys, especially when you're not the better MC. So it's like he has all this going against him, and then you want to go against the guy of your generation who has been the most decorated MC of your generation. You want to go against him? Of course it's going to look like this. And everybody wants to cope and say like, oh, well, y'all building narratives and y'all being biased against Drake. No, Drake created this bias because he's been the guy that everybody's been supporting, because all the rappers run to him when they want hits. He's the face. But he's the guy that's using what they brought to the culture. He's using the Migos flow. He's using Wayne's flow. He's using all these guys' flow, all these guys, what they brought to the culture. What Drake,
I don't have.
Let me just land. What Drake brought to the culture was he brought the face. Like, you can be this kind of guy and still, be a rapper in our culture, and that was fine. But when he decides he wants to jump over here and bounce around and be Jamaican one day and be UK another day and be Atlanta another day and then be on over in this coast and now you on that coast, it's like, all right, nigga, enough.
But that's what makes our era different. If he only used one style, he would be using an old formula. So he's using 10 styles to expand the range of audience. Isn't that what he should be doing?
Yo, we gotta get some more callers in here, bro. But John, man, we appreciate you, brother. You taking your victory laps, man. You must be tired, man, because you've been taking victory laps for the last week, bro.
I know, man. I know.
Hey, man, hey, don't stop running though, because Drake might come back with something, man. Don't stop running though. Don't stop running. But we appreciate you, brother. We're gonna get Hall One in here, LP, and then we're gonna optimistic. Hall One, what's good, bro?
What up, man?
What's on your mind today, bro?
My bad, my mic was muted. My fault, fam. Peace again. Appreciate y'all having me on again. The brother that's in the picture that got the hat on, that doesn't have the video on, man, he pretty much said everything I was going to say. So I'm gonna try to keep it real short by me keeping it simple, and I'm gonna do it like this because this is a touchy subject, especially because of the time that we're in. So many people are getting caught with this Me Too stuff. And some people are telling the truth and some people are lying on people. So I get when there's allegations and there's stuff like this going on, I understand. But it seems like we're confusing allegations with actual evidence, yo. And I'm going to ask culturally, since it seems like maybe it's a cultural thing again. Culturally, if a black man sees a 20-something, 30-something, whatever age man kissing his 17-year-old daughter, to all you black men on this panel, if you have daughters or hypothetically if you did, in our culture, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
It's going to be a problem. It's going to be a problem.
I'm going to jail.
Mike got a daughter. I got a daughter. I got a daughter right now. Mike got a daughter. And I don't know about the rest, but it's going to be a problem, bro.
Yeah.
It's going to be real problems. I got a 13-year-old daughter. So this is not an allegation. This is not something outlandish Kendrick is saying. This isn't random. This actually happened. This is evidence. This is not just an allegation that, oh, Kendrick beating on his wife. Okay, I think we all agree that we don't agree on that to be hitting on your wife or any woman. But that's an allegation. Drake is on video kissing a 17-year-old girl in her mouth. Y'all
and that's not the only one. It's more than one. Go ahead, bro. Cook though. It's at least five other ones.
On that one because you already touched on it. That's why I said you kind of said everything. So I'm just gonna say that this is not something that Kendrick is saying that's outlandish. Again, this is something cultural. Again, maybe Drake doesn't understand. I don't believe he don't understand because the way he was talking to her and communicating to her was even very intimate. So this isn't something that's just an allegation. Come on, bro.
What is he supposed to say?
He gotta address that. He can't say.
Is he supposed to say, yeah? What?
You're not supposed to tell no 17-year-old girl that her. You're not supposed to tell no 17-year-old girl that her breasts feel good on your chest.
Yeah, you gonna get shot.
Yeah.
That's crazy. It's crazy. It's crazy.
All right,
so, man, we appreciate you. We appreciate your perspective, brother. We got to get to these calls and slide through, man. We appreciate it. Check us back on Wednesday, bro.
Thank you.
LP, what's good, bro? And we're going to get optimistic next.
LP in the building. What's good with you, LP?
Hey,
LP,
what's good, fellas? How's it going?
What's good, brother?
Good,
what's on your mind tonight?
Action going on.
Hey, yeah. So my overall take is that, well, in regards to that specific thing, it just looks bad. I won't get into the weeds of it because I'm going to make my bigger point, but it does look bad. And so what my man had said earlier that the girl had made the post saying that there was nothing wrong and my dad sent me. Yeah, that sounds good, but it just looks bad because you were 17. He's on stage. You tell him you're 17, which would be fine if he stopped, but he kept on going. So that's why the optics look bad. But my overall perception of it is that I agree with Leroy for the most. Well, I don't know who was making the point, but I'm not going to so much focus on the weeds of who said what because none of it is really confirmed from either side, right? So if you want to say the daughter's not real, but the beating the wife isn't real, and we're kind of playing semantics, right? So what I look at is that in regards to every aspect of the game and this battle, K-Dot won. K-Dot right now, from a numbers standpoint, all his songs are charting. He's beating him in the numbers game, which was Drake's angle.
LP. Let me ask you something though. If we're standing on business, Kendrick is saying he wants Drake to die, right? So we're standing on business. When it comes to certain violations, the penalty is death. So are we saying that we're going to death? Is that what we're? I mean, because Kendrick is saying he wants Drake to die.
Drake
think all
said on
pedophiles should die.
sorry. Drake said on the part 6, you can respond 100 times. I'll meet you when you meet your maker. That's just a clever way of saying it's a battle, right? So we can't get into the weeds about the specific words. Like we're picking and choosing what's heavier than the other. And I feel you. But again, Leroy, so what I'm saying is that let me finish my thing, and then I'll get right back to you. K-Dot, from a strategy standpoint, Drake was the strategist. K-Dot got him with the strategy. Drake went from drop to damn, you're dropping too much, right? So he's winning with the numbers. He's winning from a strategy standpoint. When it comes down to the facts, even then, there's a lot of things that are being speculated that one can't say what's truer one the other. But when it comes to actual facts, K-Dot did bring up the cease and desist. There was an email, and then Metro confirmed it. So even when it comes to like the tangible stuff, even like the pedo stuff, there's more circumstantial evidence that works in K-Dot's favor, that even within the aspect of picking and choosing fact or fiction, when we just be objective and you put the list of, okay, what's actually tangible, K-Dot has more of that stuff working in his favor. I think what happened with this battle is that Drake didn't think that K-Dot was built like that. And even in this space, we all were like, hey, we know Drake can do it. K-Dot has to prove that he can. Once he did it, Drake was up after pull-ups, I think we can say. The AI thing, if you want to count that, cool, but that was a slip up, but we still gave him the edge because K-Dot had not proven that he had a proper respond this record. When K-Dot drops Euphoria, it makes it close to even, or if you have somebody else. When K-Dot comes back with 616, he's up. I think what fucked up Drake's strategy is that when he dropped Family Ties, he was not expecting K-Dot to drop so fast in response. That Meet the Grams, that killed the noise and the impact of Family Ties. And then I think what really did it for this battle was They Not Like Us. That's his back-to-back. And he said, back-to-back, I like that record. I'm going to get back to that record. I think he's saying, I'm going to do you like you did Meek. So by the time Drake comes back with the Heart Part 6, even if he did con, I'll give him. If he says that he conned K-Dot because that's an action that he's admitting to, I'm going to say that he did that. The problem is that at that point, you're coming from a defensive standpoint. You're answering to things that in the war, the strategy and art of war. Give me a second. Even within the art of war, you don't. The reason why K-Dot's not responding to this stuff is because first off, Drake opens himself up to this because he's so social media based. So there's already too much content out there for him that we can see. But then K-Dot is strategic. Most people, if you're in the court of law or anything like that, I'm not admitting to none of my faults, but I'm going to keep on attacking you about yours. Drake came back with the response record that was defending. So now he had to defend. He had to defend himself. He did not. Even if he had to defend himself,
we all agreed on certain standards. We all agreed. We said if you do certain acts, then you should get death, and we all agreed right before you started talking. Now Kendrick is saying you did certain things, and everyone here at the panel agreed on that, and we all agreed the penalty is death. So Drake hears that, and Drake is saying what you saying, I'm going to take you serious. Now you're saying if I'm on cell block 1, you're saying if I go to Oakland. So what you're saying is death. You're saying you're wishing death and say I should die. Because now if we're all standing on business, if we're standing on business, then we either have to be real or be fake. What are we going to, if we're standing on business, then it's
let LP finish.
No, but that's the thing. I think you're taking some of this stuff way too serious because it's
too serious.
Within the context,
I thought there were no rules.
Bro, yeah, okay, exactly. So it's serious. So he's attacking him. No, bro. Just because you see it that way doesn't mean that you can paint the standard that everybody has to see it the way that you see it, and that's how it's playing out.
In your neighborhood, if someone violates a child, what is going to happen? And if you go to prison and you're someone that has violated a child, what's going to happen?
Leroy, do you watch battle rap? Do you even pay attention to?
Yes.
No. Do you even pay attention to battle rap? Okay, then we understand that there's things that get said for the sake of the battle, and it is serious. But so is beating your wife. So is doing all these different things. It can be fake to you. That's why it's a battle. That's why it's fake, and it's a war of words, not a war of
Drake's
killing.
life is on the line, so he has to respond.
How do you know that Drake's life was on the line, bro?
Because we're standing on business. We all agreed to stand on business.
Standing on business. You're choosing to stand on business in that way.
No, we all agreed.
Who's we? I didn't all agree. Look,
all of us said we have daughters. All of us said we have daughters.
I got 2 boys.
The penalty
I didn't say I got daughters.
We all agreed on that.
No, Leroy. Yes, if it's a reality of something in the real world, bro, it's a battle rap. No, it's a fucking battle rap, man. They're against each other.
Time out, guys. Time out, guys.
K-Dot found an angle,
time out, guys.
and he's leaning on it.
Real quick. Time out.
That's what that is. Just like Drake has his angle and he's leaning on it. You know what I'm saying? He's leaning on his angle and he's saying, you beat your wife. So that's all that I mean by that. If it's true, then that's a whole nother conversation. Just like if K-Dot's really beating his wife, that's a whole nother conversation. In my mind, without having any tangible evidence, I got to view it as they're rapping against each other.
Right. One
person's angle is affecting the other more, and you can be defensive, but don't be defensive. There's a way to defend yourself and still be antagonistic. Bro, I don't smash no kids, but I'll smash your wife. Or there's a way to do it where you're not like, no, I didn't do it. And that's how he came across, bro. That's why it looks like the Heart Part 2 is like super ugly, where it's like, okay, cool, you came back, but it's not as effective because Ether's so much more dominant that even after you responded, it's still not enough. That Not Like Us record was so dominant from when it dropped to the next day that by the time he comes back with the Heart Part 6, they don't want to hear it no more. And you got holes within your own diss record where you're contradicting yourself and you're saying that it's about fact, but then you're even wrong within your own record. That's why I have K-Dot up. I can't give credibility to a pedophile or anything else. I'm viewing it as this is a battle rap angle and they're going at each other's necks. I feel you in reality. This is battle rap.
I got you.
I appreciate. Hey, yo, this is a first time caller on. Before you go to the super chat, there's a first time caller on Optimistic. What's good? We want to get you cooked real quick, and then Mike go to the super chat, and then DJ Bruce Almighty's in the building as well.
Oh,
Optimistic. What's good, sir? Where you calling from? Optimistic. You on mute, brother? I mean, we gotta get your mic straight, bro. We appreciate you, man. Hey, man, are you there?
Can you hear me right now?
Yeah. What's good?
Hey, for one thing, I don't think that no gangland affiliate has the opportunity to talk about child molestation whenever they gangland. They take these jokers from kids. Hey, them jokers mess around. Hey, tell me from Compton to Alondra, where in the heck is all the freaking sexual freaking predators coming forward when it comes to kids? Hey, so for one thing, if Kendrick had something to say about freaking Drake, why he ain't say nothing about Pyru freaking gang initiations? Why he ain't say nothing about Crip officiations? Why he ain't say it about how it go across the whole world? Gang affiliations. They don't mess with it. They don't
gangs. He's battling Kendrick.
They don't kidnap no freaking little kids. I mean, no grown people. They kidnap little kids.
In Drake's mind, when you call him that, he has to defend against that.
Hey, brother, brother, Optimistic, man. I appreciate you calling in, man. Call and check us back on Wednesday, man. You come with some deep knowledge. You must be calling from Cali or something. You got a unique perspective, man. We appreciate you. We got to get some more callers, man. I appreciate you, brother. No doubt. Thank you, man.
Kushachi with the super chat says his career is on the line, not his life.
I think we need to handle the situation. Talk about the situation. You know what I mean? I appreciate everybody what they have to say, but the waters are murky now, and it's like Drake had to defend against that. Either we're going to stand on business or not. Now we're saying 1 minute telling the truth is one thing, lying is one thing, real is one thing, fake is one thing. I don't know about that. I kind of agree with Drake. Let's make it real, because Kendrick has the ability to just be real.
It is real. Like I said, it's more than just that. It's more than just that one girl he kissing on stage, man. This man is jumping in 15-year-olds' DMs. He got at least 5 young girls that he been almost grooming since they was 15, 16, 17 years old. Like that's just facts, man. That ain't that's.
No, I'm not disagreeing. I don't know. I'm not disagreeing. I'm just saying that's a hell of a jacket to put on someone, and we are playing with life and death. If we're standing on business, what Drake heard was, "Oh, now you're putting something on me that could lead to my death." So I'm have to defend that because I don't want to die. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, we're thinking it's all play. We think he gonna come to Oakland. It's gonna be play. I can let you know you ain't gonna come to Oakland. It's gonna be play.
So Leroy, you think that Kendrick basically coming with this angle is out of line?
I'm disappointed when you call somebody a certain thing. Drake got to defend against that. I think we could have gone somewhere else with that. Now, and what the brother's saying, what Super Duper saying, is just proof. So now it just even more craziness. And I'm not disagreeing with that angle if that's what you want to take. I just think I expected greater from K-Dot because we're acting like Drake shouldn't defend that. If someone calls you that tomorrow when you go outside, you're gonna go crazy. You are going to go crazy.
Believe it. You don't believe it has any level of basis, or do you think that if it does have basis, it does have basis, you feel like he should go to authorities as opposed to putting it on record? Is that where your position is on it? Or I think
when I go so far in a battle to where I'm bringing up people, and this is on both sides, I'm bringing up people's wives, their children, I'm putting pedophile jackets on people. I'm thinking I'm trying to go to another level to where like it could get real dark. That's where I'm trying to go. That's why all this shit is messy. And I'm disappointed that it had to go there because we're looking at two men that were supposed to be somewhat of have some integrity. Especially on Kendrick's part. Especially on Kendrick's part.
Hey, can I say something? Oh, I'm sorry.
Go ahead. Go ahead, DJ. Go ahead real quick before we go back to LP, and we're gonna wrap it up in a bit. We're gonna give everybody a chance to kind of wrap it up. But DJ, go ahead and say what you got to say.
First of all, Mike, I appreciate you admitting that he lost. Because certain people, I don't know if they would have admitted it. This was an absolute body. This was an absolute body, not even close.
He's losing.
But okay, we can say that. So this is what I want to say, right? Mm-hmm. If he brought some new information about him being a pedophile, then I would be upset. But the fact that this is all over the internet, it's been all over the internet. You can go to YouTube, you go to Google. This is already out there. So he probably strengthened he probably spread the information a little more, but it's not new information. It's been out there. So if it's not like the whole daughter thing, that was kind of new. Like, but this pedo stuff been out there. Another thing, right? It's a line in Kendrick's song where he say Baca got a weird charge while he is around y'all. If you Google Baca Not Nice, he's an artist and bodyguard for Drake. He has an assault charge on a 22-year-old woman who he allegedly forced into prostitution and took all the money. Not only that, she had a human trafficking charge. And what happened was the witness came up missing. They couldn't find her to subpoena her to go to court. So that's when Kendrick said he got a weird charge. And he's a sex offender. He's a registered sex offender. Google it if you don't believe me.
We have another person in this culture.
I'm gonna say this, DJ for somebody, and I think that just that alone is enough basis for somebody to go at somebody on a diss record.
Exactly, Mike.
Exactly. Nobody's gonna stand on it. Nobody's gonna stand on this business, though.
Listen to me. If these things are documented and this person's a part of your crew, that's enough for somebody to put in a diss record at that point. It is.
I did my research. You can go to Google and find it.
We have somebody
Not Nice. Hold on for a minute, Leroy. His name Baca Not Nice. He's an artist on OVO, and he's 45 years old now, so he doesn't really do music. I think he's more of a street dude. He's there more for protection, but he's 45 years old, and he went to jail because he pled guilty for the assault charge, but they couldn't get him on the human trafficking and the rape because the witness disappeared.
Let me say this. I gotta say this. We have somebody in this space who is another YouTuber who said that they were violated as a child by a pillar from the foundation of this culture. Who stood on business when he said that? Nobody. So if Drake did something, what are anybody going to do about it? They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing. They're not going to do nothing. So why are we talking about what we're not going to do? No one's going to do nothing.
Leroy, you wilding out right now. Now you really wilding out.
You're doing a lot of what you doing. Prove that for what? Who's gonna do something?
You're doing a lot of whataboutism, and it's really weird.
I think it's a lot of whataboutism in these songs. I think it's a lot of whataboutisms in these songs.
One more point. If I can respond.
Who did something about Africa Bambaataa? Did anybody stand on business? No.
Hassan Campbell should. He the killer.
Did anybody stand on business? So what are we talking about? So Kendrick needs to stand on business now.
You're gonna ask a question, I'm gonna answer it. I think this star, from a journalism standpoint, being able to bring that story to the fold and interview the individuals who are involved, and even get that individual into the corner that he's in right now, where he's not being celebrated as he once was, I would say stood on business. And
he wasn't at the Hip Hop 50. And if I can, because of Star, right? And Leroy, real quick before you go, because I got to respond to some of the things that you said. For one, so again, let's say I don't disagree with you that he needed to defend himself. There's a way that you can defend yourself where you don't come across as defensive and like you're on the ropes.
How?
We're getting what do you mean how? People defend themselves all the time without sounding like they're on the defensive. There's a way to be. Hold on, Leroy.
If you say I'm a pedo, I'm saying you're crazy. If you say I'm a pedo, I'm saying you're crazy.
Yes, but Leroy, you're gonna be like, just let me cook real quick. So Leroy, I'll be like, I ain't no pedo. You crazy? Blah 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 blah. I'm not no pedo. Why should you judge me? And I didn't do this with you. He even brought up a girl that nobody brought up. Like, so it's just the demeanor of the track. I'm speaking on the track. The demeanor and how he comes across is of defensive. Like, I'm getting beat up. I'm blocking myself and I'm trying to swing. Not like, bro, that didn't touch me.
I thought he sounded disappointed. I thought Drake sounded disappointed. I thought he was like, man, I expected more.
I want to add one point real quick to your point, LP. When you get accused of being a pedo, right, and you turn around and say, "Oh, you were molested as a child," that's why you're saying that. That's nasty, bro. That's nasty work. Like, that right there was cringeworthy. That right there made me almost not like the whole song, because I'm like, bro, I understand what he's saying. He was serious allegations, but for you to turn around and be like, "Well, you was molested," that's why you're saying that.
Right, and that takes me back to the other thing that Leroy is saying about Drake with the all facts. Bro, the track itself that you're saying about all facts, you're wrong. Right. You're not telling the truth in the song. Like, in the song himself.
Because lying is cool now. Because lying is cool. We all said lies is cool. When I said, what do we want? Facts or lies? I was like, lying is cool.
Leroy, but you
Y'all
can't
all
say
said lying is cool.
But Leroy, you can't say, Drake is standing on facts, but in the track himself, he's lying. You can't do both, bro. Like, you can't be like, he's standing on truth.
You guys are cool with lying.
No, bro,
you guys are cool with lies.
What's that got to do with us, Leroy?
Bro.
You said it, bro.
You were against lies here.
No.
Hold on.
Stop it.
Hey, one at a time.
Time
out. We got to wrap up. I want to get in order. I want to get some order to the court. We're going to go around real quick. John Nori, what's your final thoughts here, brother?
Hey man, there was a lot of cop and pleas today. I'm glad it happened though. This is your last day y'all get the cop pleas, because this thing is over. So get it out your system today, because this is going into the history books. Drake got his boots smoked. This is over. So get it out your system. All that I hate this goofy ass nigga. Get it out your system today, because after today, it's in the history book. So whatever that was, I hope that was for the internet. I don't know what the fuck that was. I don't know what it was, but I hope it's for the internet, because this is over.
Crazy. Keep the trap shoes on.
Have a good one.
Keep running, brother. We appreciate you, man. DJ Bruce Almighty, what's your final thoughts, brother?
First of all, this was an absolute body, not even close. I'm not gonna say Drake wasn't rapping good. He was. Family Matters is super hard. The other thing I want to say is you can't call somebody out for lying and say, let me tell you the truth, and then you start lying too. Like,
that's crazy, man. That's crazy. Well, DJ Bruce Almighty, man, we appreciate you, brother. Check in with us on Wednesday, man.
LP, y'all have a good one. Thank y'all.
LP, what's on your mind, bro?
Yeah, hey man, great battle. All BS aside, they stood on. Much respect to Drake, much respect to K-Dot. K-Dot won in every aspect, not by a lot, but every single aspect that you view a battle, and from the momentum, the numbers, the perception, the angles that landed, the rapping ability, being direct with your opponent. coming out cleaner than your opponent did from what was perceived to be to what happened, it was a masterclass. And even if you eliminate some of the negatives from him, it was still up. It's like playing football and you got like a few penalties, but you still won. You know what I'm saying? So even with the fake angles, if they exist or not, whatever story, it was a masterclass, man. But salute to all of them, and thank you guys for letting us on. And hey, Leroy, you still my boy.
Yeah, no, bro, I got you. Man. We good, bro. We good.
Yes, sir.
No doubt. Super duper, brother. What's on your mind, man?
What I tell you in the text, I told you all Kendrick got to do is make a club song, and it was gonna be over.
Hey, you told me that like what, 8 hours before the joint dropped,
so right before it came out. Yep. But this is my last thing I want to say. And one of them songs I can't remember because they came so fast. But in one of them songs, I think it's 616 in L.A. Kendrick spoke. No. This was Meet the Grams about the industry being weird, and they protect who they want to protect. And that's really the whole angle of this, because like somebody said before, this is not new information with Drake with these underage girls. This talk, it's not new information. Kendrick just brought it to the light, and so whether it's factual that he is doing what Kendrick is saying or not, it's pretty close, and so it do hold weight more than we trying to make it a lie. The daughter thing, I'm sure that he probably gonna be able to prove that. If he respond, I guarantee he's gonna come back with some type of receipts on that. Because Drake just saying that it's a lie don't make it the truth either. You know what I'm saying? So who is Drake for us to be believing right now? So that's really my last point right there.
Yo, appreciate the super duper, man. As always, man. We'll be chopping it up in the text, man. Hopefully something else will drop between now and Wednesday, man. We'll keep it going, bro.
All right, for sure, man. Y'all be easy.
No doubt. Leroy, Kanye once said back in the day, he said, this game you can never win. First they love you, then they hate you, then they love you again. So tonight, last week they loved you, Leroy. Tonight, not so much, bro. So what you want to close out with?
y'all not gonna like me, man, because I don't want to go backwards. I've been there before, and what I'm hearing is lying is cool. Not standing on certain things is cool, or going back to the old stuff. It's like, nah, I'd rather it be the truth, and I'd rather we stand on some integrity. I expect better from Kendrick and Drake to not go so low to where we're showing the world the most ugliest side of us. Why not show us at our highest potential and show the best example of us? And we'll probably impact the world greater from our best selves than this dirty shit.
So don't battle ever.
No, battle, but it's
records.
No, we should just lie. We should lie. The reason why we're looked at a certain way is because we honor lies more than the truth, and we respect lies more than the truth. And that's our problem.
Leroy, why are you acting like you know what's the lie or the truth, though? We don't know. Nobody
we don't care. Exactly. We're saying we don't care. We're saying we don't care whether it's a lie or the truth. I'm saying I prefer the truth.
I'll give you this much, right? You came in here. Listen, just listen. Hold on. Listen to me. I'm gonna give you this much credit where I feel you in a small inkling of a way to understand what you're trying to say.
I appreciate you.
We came into this expecting a rap battle, right? Not for somebody to be trying to send somebody to jail. You know what I'm saying? And like what Kendrick did could expose Drake to false allegations if they're not true, but his behavior has been suspect. But I told Ron in the chat, I wouldn't be surprised by this Friday, as all of a sudden some Drake accuser come out of nowhere accusing him of the stuff that Kendrick is saying just for money, just for clout, just for whatever.
Yeah, that already happens.
Because he put it out there in the atmosphere. So, we came in this for a rap battle. We didn't come in this to see nobody served and going to jail, man. So that's the one thing I will say to you. But if it's true, it's true. And Drake has been doing a lot of suspect behavior.
Appreciate that take. Yo, but Mike, before we end up, I didn't wasn't on earlier. Can I just close it out with some music real quick, man?
Yeah, close it out with the music.
I want to end with the music, man. I want my favorite record out of this whole battle, and people are not mentioning this record. They got it like Esquire had it like last on this list. My favorite record of this battle is.
We don't need any copyright strikes.
I ain't playing the music. I'm telling you what my favorite record is.
Oh, okay, I got you. Okay.
My favorite record of the battle is 616 from LA. Okay. My favorite one, man. I don't know if it's a sample. I don't know what it is, but I thought that how Kendrick got off, it was great.
Yeah, purely rapping.
Yeah, Family Matters is number 2. They Not Like Us, number 3, and then I'll save the rest on Wednesday, man. But I just wanted to bring it back to the music, man. We went on a whole different team. We went to like Inside Edition and Dateline NBC on this joint tonight, man. So
let me get my closing thoughts real quick, man. I mean, I know I opened everything up, with the show and all that, but I'm really impressed with how Kendrick has handled himself in this back and forth. I didn't even think he was going to respond, and for him to come with this rate of material at this quality and hitting it from all spectrums, it's very impressive. And the fact that he's outdoing the numbers of the number one hit maker that hip hop has probably ever had, it's impressive, especially coming from the dimension that he comes from in this hip hop thing. Now, I'm not gonna act like he's an underground rapper. He's definitely not that. He's mainstream as well, but he's not known for the hits, and he's showing that he can do this on every spectrum, and I feel like he's gonna just keep going too. And it's very impressive, and I'll admit when I'm wrong. Kendrick Lamar deserves this, man. I think it's over, actually. I think that he's gonna give us one more record to go ahead and finish Drake off, but I mean, if it stops right now, which it very well could, I mean, he won this handily, and Drake put up an incredible fight. It was just, I mean, Kendrick just won, like LP said. Kendrick just won on every aspect and every dimension. It's very impressive. It's one of the most impressive battles that I've seen. You know what I'm saying? And
I think we went the whole show, and nobody on the whole show, Mike, I thought you was gonna mention this. Nobody mentioned Metro dropping BBL Drizzy. The disc beat. Ain't nobody said nothing about them.
Yeah, that was wild.
I mean, to be honest, man, I say this respectfully. Rick Ross, Metro, Future, Weekend, this ain't about y'all. You know what I'm saying? And you guys are great in your own right. This is about Kendrick and Drake.
If Drake would have,
and Mike, that was one of his slip ups. Was still adding them to his family ties. That's where he kind of slipped up too. He should have kept it main event with him and K-Dot. And to your point, Mike, another thing that I agree with you 1,000% on, and to add context to it, this isn't like Anthony Edwards busting a 40-year-old LeBron James. Drake is still at the top. You're outnumbering the guy that is the numbers guy at the peak of him still being the numbers guy. He just dropped a number one album with 21. He just broke the world tour that what's his name previously had. It's crazy that he's winning in this fashion. Like that's the most interesting part to me.
If this is about culture versus vulture, are we sure we want to end this battle in 3 days, or should we let it keep going? If it's about culture versus vulture,
no. But the thing is that this is right, and the thing is that it's a new era. We have to adapt. We're the old heads. You know what I'm saying? And we're in a niche space when it comes to this hip hop fandom the way that we do it, right? So the thing is that in my mind, we pretty much had a whole Jay-Z versus Nas within a weekend basis. We went through all the different things that we can go through. There was a takeover style. There was an ether style. There was a back-to-back style. There was a response record that really didn't hit. It's the new data. It's new information. This is how it's flowing right now. It's fast. Now, again, can it keep on going? It can, but we got pretty much, and I think that's why there's so much exhaustion in the game right now, and why so many people are like, oh, I'm already tired from this to end. When's Ghostface dropping? Where's the Common album? The reason why everybody feels like that is because it's like it's like running a marathon at a Usain Bolt speed.
I don't want it to end.
It's still a marathon, but it happens so fast that you're tired of shit. And that's what this was. We got everything we wanted out of a full battle in the history of it within a weekend, which is all due respect to Drake. But again, even more so to K-Dot. His history wasn't made on Friday because Drake dropped a diss record. That's natural. It's the fact that K-Dot responded in 20 minutes. That was what made Friday the history. And then on Saturday to drop right back, that's the history of it all.
All right, well, let's finish this up on Wednesday, guys. I know we got to get out of here. We covered a whole lot. I think we all are at the at the agreement that Kendrick's up right now, and we're probably going to get another Drake record before we get another Kendrick record, but I do believe we're going to get another record before our Wednesday show. I appreciate everybody rocking with us. Appreciate y'all calling, giving y'all perspectives as always.